We're back. Well, we will be in about a minute. We're not quite ready yet, so the guests are just getting ready behind the scenes there. If you've never seen a football vloggers podcast before, this is the sort of thing you can expect.
I look back to that Spurs Newcastle incident. This is what led to the penalty that got Newcastle the point against Spurs. And this is what I refer back to, and this is sort of my point on VAR. It's not the technology that's wrong, it's the people that's running it.
So when we start, I'll be introducing the guests. They are vloggers and podcasters from different clubs. Any questions that you want to ask, just post them in the chat below. And don't forget, make sure you give the video a like as well. We really, really appreciate that. So we're just about ready. I'll just check the guys are all ready, and we'll see you on the other side. Good evening, everyone, and good evening to the guys. Hi, Jake. Hi, Dor. We've got 3 on at the moment. We've got others coming in later on during the show. How are you all doing? And how are you feeling, Dor, at the moment? With Derby looking like they're in a big mess.
Oh, bless them.
Nothing to do with Dor, is it, Dor?
None of my business.
Not your problem.
Curse them or something?
Not my problem.
No, not your problem. It doesn't look good though, does it? I mean, I'm reading this Kirsch just pulled out, has he? Has he withdrawn?
He's got no money. He tried to buy Preston.
That's my point. That's the point. And this is the thing with him, right? Preston warned Derby fans, he's got no money.
He can't even pay the ice hockey team he got going.
It's just ridiculous. And sorry, I have to say. And
what is going
no,
on?
How
can the EFL keep doing this?
He's interviewing on the Derby webs on the channels, this and that and other. I'm like, do something.
You only do things like that if it's confirmed and official. You don't
exactly.
You don't go right. I've bought. Once you've signed that paper, it's like going to a house that you're about to buy, but the old people haven't moved out yet, and you turn around and say, "I'm going to put all my stuff in that room there." It's just ridiculous, and it's getting to that point where I don't even think the EFL should step in either, because it's technically nothing to do with the EFL.
No,
it's Derby, and I know Derby fans keep going. It's different situation to Bury and Macclesfield, but it's getting close to that now. And
it's just unbelievable.
I think they've got 7 players in contract. Liam Rossini is off to you guys.
Yes, Edgy Ones has just posted that. Liam Rossini's Tangerine Army, but it's not been official yet.
Well, this is the thing. Can Wayne Rooney manage while he's there? Because he hasn't done his badges. He hasn't done his coaching badges.
No,
the only reason he was able to manage is because Liam Rossini has had his. Yeah.
It's just one huge mess. Anyway, how are your clubs, by the way? Somebody's asked you, Reese has said, how's Andy Hinchcliffe? He stopped talking about Barry Bannon yet.
Nah, he wasn't talking about Bannon. All through the Sky commentary, all he kept on talking about was how amazing Barry Bannon is. And he is, but it's just one of those things. And I hate Andy Hinchcliffe as a commentator. He done my head in.
He's saying that,
always injured.
We need you to come back down because you've robbed us of a Hooters trip this day. That's no good, is it? We need you back in the Championship. What's going on with no Hooters trip?
You might get them in the FA Cup.
Yeah, true. You might get in the FA Cup. So yeah. No, I'm still not happy. Sheffield Wednesday should have come up to Championship, man. I like Sheffield Wednesday. I don't like Sheffield United.
No. Ryan Dunbar said it's like going to the supermarket, picking up an apple, rubbing your balls on it, and going, "Don't want it." That's the Derby situation. Is it?
Basically, 38 million for the club, then 50 million for the stadium.
Yeah,
it's something like that. But the thing is, you're having to do 2 deals for 2 separate things. You're running into 100 million just there, and Ashley won't buy it because he doesn't want to pay the administrative fee, which is about 8 million. And that's also, he said, at the moment, we're not even worth 10 million with what's going on. Who
No.
can actually buy that?
And the worst thing about it, Mel Morris, he hired the administrators.
Yeah,
as well. And this is why
he hired them, but the thing is, if he doesn't want the club anymore, why hold the club to ransom for a stadium? Just give it up and say, "Here's your stadium, here's your club, I'm walking away." And it's not like
and this is why, like, as a Forest fan, like I said, I don't want no club go to liquidation. That's just it's ridiculous. But me, a Forest fan, me see them suffer, I don't care. But
all the crap you got with your ownership and your FVP
like we had Fawaz. Sorry, I keep putting in. We had Fawaz. We had Fawaz as an owner, and as everyone knows, we was a mess, completely a mess, and them lot was laughing. And you know what? And now them not suffering.
Yeah.
People say it will be sarcastic, saying, "Oh, I hope that Derby liquidate, blah blah blah." Like I don't, like I said, I'm a football fan, man.
You don't want to see any club go into liquidation.
I've got good friends like Lisa Howard. She watches the show, and yes, I can say I put a picture up about I think Chris Kirkendall, and there's a picture of me, and someone done it. It wasn't me, and it's just fun.
You got a lot of rubbish for it. You got a lot of flat for it when you didn't actually say anything.
And all I said was none of my business.
Yeah, and the thing is, we got a lot of stick when we were nearly on the verge of going bust. We had it that we had High Court ready to go. Milan Mandaric bought us of a quid. We were getting stuff from Rotherham. But it wasn't that long ago when Rotherham were having to come around our ground and their ground with buckets to put money in to save them. And we got the same kind of stuff. It's like, you don't want to see any club go bust.
No, you really don't. Careful. And it's your derby as well. At the end of the, it is, it is your big derby game, isn't it? It's always kind of important. BM Gaming is saying he feels so bad for Derby. One of the best fans to ever come to Blackpool, and they were unbelievable. I actually did a video on it, and they were just amazing. They brought 4,000. They were down, and they sang, and they joined in with our song, "Jump Around If You're Going Down."
Is you've got a club that went every season went big or go home. Big or go home with the players. They weren't balancing the books. They weren't looking at what might happen. And this is a case of where you bring Frank Lampard in. Yeah, you give him a lot of money, and but you don't learn from it. Like the one thing I actually like about Chansiri's learning from it. He's realized I can't bend the big bucks like I did. I messed up. I got the club into a situation which is my fault and the main reason we got relegated. He brought in someone like Darren Moore who knows football, who knows contacts. We managed to put a squad together last season of 16 free transfers because we couldn't bend a penny. And this season, we're doing similar thing, but we can bend. Like we've agreed a deal with Stockdale from Wickham, who's a free agent. We've agreed a deal for Ben Hannigan, who's from Wimbledon, AFC Wimbledon.
He was great, Hannigan.
We're looking at bringing in Wilkes from Hull City, who League One is bloody incredible. I think it was like 19 goals and 41 games when he was in Hull with Hull last time. So we're doing clever business, and you're learning about it.
Spending tons and tons and tons. You don't need to. Certainly not. Down in the League One, you just need.
You can't.
You need something, but you can get out of there without spending.
Okay, at least you can say 3 easy 6 points next season for you lot.
Yeah.
So,
it's one of those things. Nobody on this panel on this show wants to see a club go bust. It's not what we like in football.
I have banter with Derby fans. At this point, like I said, I said on the podcast about I don't want the only people I feel sorry for is the local businesses around Pride Park.
Yeah.
And the tea lady. and the Derby fans give me abuse. I'm like, what for? Like, I feel sorry for the businesses around Derby because they're going to be a bit more.
They're one club.
Do you think they're going to go? Do you think they're going to go? Is it looking like they are going to go?
Personally think, yeah.
Post in the comments if you do think they are going to go.
They're going to go because even if you get someone like a Mike Ashley coming, he's not going to mess about. They start messing him about.
He's going to wait till when Derby go boss, he's going to come in.
Yeah. like you do with all the businesses.
Well, where's he going to take over if they go bust? Where will they be, Dor, if they get?
They're going to be, well, basically, Derby wanted a deal with the EFL that said, this is something I read earlier, so I don't know how, I think it was on the Mirror. They wanted a deal that said they only went into League Two if they went bust, that they started in League Two and then carry on. Now, the EFL had gone, no, if you bust, you start again. They wanted some sort of special deal saying, we'll start again in League Two. And they're like, that's not what everyone else has done. Everyone else has gone bust and had to rebuild. You don't get special treatment.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you might be Derby County, you might be Wayne Rooney, Derby County, but you're not bigger than the entire organisation.
Yeah.
Well, here's Ian Barron. He says, imagine being a Darlington FC fan. We're made bankrupt in 2011, reformed in 2012, demoted 4 leagues. They're currently a fan-owned National League North club. We've had 3 promotions to date. So, they're coming back, but they were made bankrupt and they had to go, demoted 4 leagues. So why should Derby,
Derby got this whole thing where they think I do think any other club would have been turned over by now. I don't know if it's just me. I just think any other club might have just gone bust already. Yeah, they just seem like they're being given a chance after chance after chance. And I don't know if that's me being bitter, but it just feels that way.
Would you like to see American owners buying Derby County?
Well, they just tried to. They just tried.
Well, he's trying. Yeah, he is. He's trying. I mean, there's lots of clubs in a mess at the moment, isn't there? And the trouble is, there's only 3 can go up, and you're competing against Premier League clubs coming down, aren't you? So you've got to get in that Premier League. If you're in these millions of debts, you've got to get in there. But it's just you can't, can you?
The problem is, like I said, Preston fans warned him.
Yeah,
they warned him, and like I said, I think he was backed by Preston, and then he had no money.
Yeah. He went to the EFL and they came, where's the cash? And I think it's the same thing. I think it's the same thing he's done here.
Yeah. And the thing about it, like he's going around stadium posing pictures with. I saw a picture with him with Lisa, and it's fine to have pictures with someone. We're wrong, but you want the deal signed and sealed. That's what. And if you feel the egg on your face, thinking, and I saw him on social media, like Derby fans are now actually hammering him. But you get the guys in your picture, the guys in your ground.
It was 21 million, I think he was trying to get transferred over and never did. He said it was stuck in Europe Bank getting sort of a money laundering or something like that. It's weird.
It said
I'm just going to bring Dan in. I'll just bring him in there. Dan, good evening, Dan. We're just talking about Derby at the moment. I suppose you'll have been seeing all the news that the potential owner has pulled out. Or is withdrawn at the moment. So BM Gaming is saying that if Derby go bust, it will be like Rangers doing a comeback. Well, yeah, I mean, they went bust, didn't they? But
they did go bust, but they
went as low as they could go, really, didn't they?
Yeah, but they had a ground. If Derby go bust, where do they go? They don't have a ground.
They don't have a ground.
It's a similar situation to Bury, I suppose, isn't it? Where they haven't got a ground either. So
Mel Morrison owns the ground. That's a problem, man.
Yeah. He will not. The thing is, he will not sell club and ground at the same time. He wants the money for the ground and then money for the club, and the 2 separate things. And the problem is, no one's going to do that, especially when the ground's worth 50 million in terms of what he paid for it. Who's going to pay 100 million for a League One club?
It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen, is it? It's
with 7 players on the book.
Ryan Dunbar says Barcelona need 500 million to survive.
Yeah, but Barcelona are different. Barcelona are Barcelona.
Yeah, Barcelona. They
got a 250 million Spotify deal. They've got something coming out on Thursday that might help their money issue. They've got superstars they can sell to try and make the money back up.
Of course they have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who have Derby got who they can sell?
No.
And then actually keep the money to reinvest it. Because they won't be able to reinvest it because and I don't know how they're going to do it, because surely if you're in administration, surely you've got a transfer embargo.
Yeah, well,
exactly. The thing is, it's a bit of a strange one because I don't know. For me, I know a lot of Derby fans will say, "Oh, Mel Morris is a wanker" and all that stuff. But on the flip side of that, I'm thinking, is he really though? Is he really?
Well,
He's done what every owner wants to do. He's pumped that money in.
Yeah, but he's not sure. Yeah, but he's not sure.
Oh no, he's done it the wrong way. He's done it the wrong way, though. He's tried to throw money at it and hope that it works. And he's tried to throw money, a bit like, look at what Everton nearly dropped last season. They, as I kept calling Everton last season, the Derby of the Premiership, because they're throwing money at it, hoping for that risk of success.
Ironic, Frank Lampard.
Yeah, but Dan, the thing about Mel Morris, right? Like I said, he tried to figure with the books.
I agree with.
And then he said,
disagree with her.
The ground's worth 80 million. No, it's not. The ground's worth. What do you mean the ground's worth 80 million?
He's obviously had it overvalued.
Exactly. And then he tried to overvalue his players.
He had it.
That was almost out of contract.
Yeah.
And then he tried to do. I don't know what it was. The other thing he did, and everyone, like even Forest fans, everyone kept saying, "Listen to me, right? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's just when."
Yeah.
And then when everyone heard it, I thought, you know what? I put something on my social media. I went, shame. And I can actually hammer for it. Oh, why is he changing the club? Because Mel, this is not for Derby fans, for Mel Morrison tried to absolutely take the piss out of the language for the EFL.
What is it? It's 6 weeks till season starts, isn't it?
Yeah. People should go for Mel Morrison.
Has it been extended till the start of the season, the deadline?
No, I haven't seen it. But they got, in theory, they got 6 weeks to get an owner. Because the EFL may extend it. We've seen how many.
No chance of they get an owner in 6 weeks. Ryan Dunbar's actually angry because he says we've said Rangers went bust and they didn't go bust. Did Rangers not go bust? I was under the impression.
I thought you went bust. Or did you restart as Rangers Newco as a new company?
No, they went bust and they went to change the name.
Ryan says that they didn't go bust.
They did, of course they did.
They did. It's just Rangers fans won't admit it. We me and a mate used to take piss out of a lad that we know is a Rangers fan, and he's like, "So what? We're back on the up." I'm like, "What? You've won your first title. You're a new club. What you piping on about?" Shut up.
I remember they put someone on social media about the only club to win something about Champions League.
You're saying, well, no, because they're not actually Rangers anymore. Are they not Rangers?
Newco.
Yeah, exactly. So we've lit a fire under Ryan Dunbar anyway. Hollow TV says, we're questioning, I suppose, for both me and Dan, really. Have you heard that Burnley are after Gable? Yes, I have, and you can't have him. It's a stuff off.
I don't understand where it's come from, that. I don't understand where it's come from, because we've got Matt Lawton, who, to be honest, last season was pretty decent.
Just signed him from Forest.
Ooh,
and then obviously we've got Connor Roberts last season as well, and Connor Roberts hasn't done too bad, but apparently this Premier League suitors sniffing around Connor Roberts, so that means we would need another right back.
Why have you not announced Vincent Kompany yet, or is that now dead?
I've been talking to you on this show. This is my third time now, and I said about Kompany on the first one, and it's still not been announced.
Still not.
I woke up this morning. I sat there anticipating the announcement today. I had laptop open and everything.
Your
it got to about
broken. Is your F5 key on your keyboard broken from pressing refresh?
Probably.
Ryan Dunbar says it's a new company, not a new club. Not a new club, he's saying.
It's a new club, man. It's a new club, man. You just don't want to.
In a business sense, the old company folded and you made a new company. And if you're looking at a football club as a business, yes, it's still
basically
Rangers.
A refurb.
Yeah.
They got away with it, basically, didn't they, somehow? The True Red said Phil Barsley is linked with Derby when his contract expires at Burnley.
Come on.
Is he gonna
the thing is, he's not going to go there, though. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if, as soon as all this stuff happens, when it gets to the point where there's no deadline, Rooney will jump. And then those 7 players that are sat there will just be like...
Dan, when I started, how's Rooney going to do it? Because the coach was Rosenia, who got the coaching bag. Rooney doesn't have any coaching badges.
No, he doesn't.
That's
He's
the
more
only
like a
reason
figurehead
he got it
sort of thing, isn't he, really, I suppose? An inspirational figurehead, but it's just one big mess, isn't it? I can't understand how did they get... I mean, can somebody explain to me what exactly has completely, happened with
They
Derby?
just bent and never... They always never really sold.
But how did he end up owning? How did he end up in this situation where he owns the stadium?
Basically,
financial fair play.
Yeah. So basically, what they did, right?
Same thing what we did.
As Punk Jeff just said, they overspent. Then they revalued his stadium to something stupid like 80 million, and it wasn't worth 80 million.
You then put 80 million on your books, which then shows that you've made a profit. Then you don't break financial fair play.
And then the good players who's coming out of contract, he's saying they're worth more money. How does that work? How does that work? Like, You can mention like Lawrence, he was out his last 12 months, saying that he's worth, I don't know, 10 or 12 million on his last 12 month contract. I'm like, what? How's all that work?
How many years had he been at Derby before he actually started getting a bit good?
Exactly.
It's so easy to become a standout player in a shit team.
We had the thing when Derby stayed up, they celebrated like they won the Champions League with the fans.
Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me started on that nonsense.
No. We got a load of rubbish for like saying, "Oh, you're being bitter." It's like, yeah, but you just stayed up, and then when they come down, it's like, "Oh, you're not giving." We're like, "Oh, there you go, you got what you got from last season." It's like, no, we didn't deserve that. We deserve to stay up. And they probably did this season with how they've been, but you can't have a situation like we had it. We overvalued our stadium because we wrote it in. We've said to the EFL, the EFL told us not to make any notes at a meeting. We made notes. We showed them the notes. They had to come back. That's why our point deduction got halved to 6, because we showed them what they said. So we had our valuation of our stadium thing. But there's nothing in the whole thing with financial fair play in the EFL is broken. It doesn't work. It was meant to stop more clubs going bust. I think we've had more clubs go bust due to it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Bury's only on the rise back. I mean, I think it's a fan consortium that's rebought the stadium, and they're on about like trying to rebuild the club. I think there's an old Burnley vintage Clarets team playing a bunch of Bury legends to try and raise some money as well.
Big Lane back, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, Dor, you'll probably feel a bit similar to me. I mean, obviously, Derby being a rival, Blackburn were a rival. Venky's came in. It looked like they were going down the shit pan, and it's fun to watch. Don't get me wrong, it's fun to watch. But then you wouldn't want to see your rival just crumble. Yeah, I mean, it's all right being, you're in the Champions, you're in League One, we're in the Prem, bragging rights and stuff. But seeing your rival fold would just take away that little element of football, wouldn't it?
100%. But like I said, like I mentioned, like we had Fawaz. Like, remember, if people will remember, Nigel Doherty sadly passed away. We was in trouble, trouble. We had to sell Wes Morgan to our rivals Leicester. We had to sell Patrick Bafford to Chelsea. We had to sell them to.
Did you have your water and electric cut off at your training ground?
Everything was happening,
God.
And then Fawaz brought us, and everyone knows that story. It was completely a mess, and Derby fans were just saying this, that, and other about us. I'm like, okay, blah blah, and now.
How much did your current owner buy Forest for?
Marinakis, he brought him for 50 or 60 million. Because you know what? I don't know if people knew this. When Fawaz was owner, Marinakis come in early, and he brought in this French dude, Philippe Martinet. Marinakis brought him in. By Fawaz was in charge. So he's been in the background for quite a while. I think we brought him in 2000. He came into Nottingham Forest officially 2017, but he came in 2016.
Was he only trying to lay the groundwork to buy the club, right?
Yes. So, as you know, Fawaz completely messed the club up, and then it took 5 years for Marinakis to get us in the Premier League.
Yeah, but it shows you if you're a club who's got a plan and a structure. And your big thing last year, your biggest signing, I wouldn't even say it was Cooper. I think it was the lad you got from Barnsley, who came upstairs and just changed it all. Because I remember when you came onto the Football Blogger podcast going, have you read this article about the bomb room? There's a place in the club called the bomb room where everyone goes in. And it was just this big article showing how fecked Forest was. And it just seems like you've done the right stuff off the pitch, getting that sorted behind the scenes, and then you just sorted it on the pitch. Because, funny enough, though, I got recommended for your video for Chris Houghton saying it's going to take us up the other day. we laughed.
It's just been a mad story. It's been a mad story. Like I said, we was in the dirt. We was in complete dirt.
Well, you were even in the dirt at the start of the season, weren't you? Really, you were down at the bottom of the league. It's been an amazing thing. Really,
it was funny and I said this last week on Leeds Charles TV. I think Nappers was cussing me about, you're going to cuss Chris Houghton, blah, 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 this and that. I'm like, listen to me, right? I think he's the man. But he wasn't. And he was awful to watch. But as everyone knows, Cooper's come in and the rest is history. That's what I said.
It's just it's an incredible journey. But now you've got to be sort of you've now got to not do the stupid thing and go spending, really big when you get in the Premier League.
We might go and raid Burnley because this is a funny, Dan, because I said this on my podcast, right? For the last 7 or 8 years, right? Every single time, Joe Worrell is always linked to you lot every single time. And now we can't hear nothing from Burnley. Joe Worrell's not coming now, Dan. So now we might.
You know what's nice about watching that final though, Dor? Like, oh crap, they're playing Huddersfield. Jordan Rosie's gonna go. He's gonna go mental.
Yeah, he always scores. He always scores. But
somebody's asked you a question in the comments, Dor. There it says, "What are your thoughts about Nico Williams from Liverpool if you don't get Spence?"
He's a good player. He's a good player. He's Welsh. I think he's 21 years old. And
on that basis, you should get Gareth Bale.
Oh, don't talk about that, man. I don't want to hear about that Bale, man. But yeah, like I said, he's a good player. I've got a good relationship with Brennan Johnson, so it could be good. So why not? Like I said to Stan, we might go and raid Burnley and buy all their 7 players that been allowed to leave. So.
Who's leaving Burnley then? Quickly, if you want to fill
all of them. All of them.
Yeah, I think it's easy to tell you what players have been retained. It's easy to tell you what players have been retained. Honestly, I mean, Tarkowski, we've known for a good couple of years that he was off. Right. Ben Mee hasn't signed a new deal. Apparently, there was a 2-year deal on the cards, on the table for him, but he wants a final crack at the Prem before it's too late. We're still in talks with Jack Cork and Matej Vidra about signing new deals. But but your big hitters, as I say, are probably your defensive partnership. I mean, it's massive when you've had a player like Ben Mee at your club for for about 11 years. It's massive. I was 21 and still a bit of a dickhead when he joined, and now I'm 31 this year. I mean, I'm still a bit of a. But I've matured a little bit in those 11 years.
What's your wage bill coming down like in terms of structure wise? I know you've got your parachute payment, but do you think your new ownership is going to be quite sensible with it, or are you worried that they're going to maybe do a derby and overspend and think that because your ownership, we don't know what they're like. They bought
we don't.
They bought
it's a strange one
in a sense. It is debt, isn't it? It's like debt they bought you on, kind of thing. So I still don't get how clubs are still able to be bought on debt. I don't get it. Surely that shouldn't be allowed. Surely that's a red flag.
It shouldn't be allowed, definitely.
No, I don't understand it because we've gone from a team that is turning over at least a 10 mil profit each season, and for a little shitty town club, a small fish in a big pond, shall we say, when we were in the Premier League, it was. That was more than enough. And then obviously you'll get your TV money and then wherever you finish in the division and all that, create a lot of factors into it all. But the fact that this guy came in during the midst of lockdown,
you had 47 million, didn't you? Did you not have 47 million?
Yeah, we were
47 million in the bank.
It's weird. It's strange. I mean, we do want to see change. And if that means that we are going to have to go into debt to make those sacrifices to move forward, I mean, then that's fair enough. You see these teams at the top in the Big Six, they're in millions and millions of debt. But, they still, because of them commercially and the name and everything, we're not going to get that big. I mean, look at Leicester. They're not even contenders for being called in the top 6 because obviously they've had 2 top 5 finishes, a Premier League win, but yet, Arsenal are lucky to get into the top 6, but they're still classed as it because they're one of the original sort of like OGs of the Premier League.
Arsenal, I am looking forward to watching their All or Nothing on Amazon. I think it can be an absolute take.
I think they should just put a cross through the All or and just call it Nothing.
I cannot stand Arsenal because I've never liked Arsenal because the way when after World War II, they did some sort of weird deal to pay and stay in the league, and they've always been there. And it was those situations where I don't mind seeing Arsenal sometimes do okay, but it's the arrogance of their fans that pisses me off because they think they should be there still. It's like Manchester United fans. They still think they should be there, but they're not learning. This is what happens.
Another guest. Just 1 second. Sorry, I'll just bring him in there. I'll just change the... Good evening,
this is
sir.
what happens when you have a situation where
Ajax on there, is it?
A club had never changed the manager in 11 or 12 years.
Ajax.
Yes. Tell us a little about yourself. First time you've been on, is it?
Yeah, so I'm part of the Sunderland group that's coming on. So I thought I didn't figure out how it worked. So I'm a Sunderland supporter, born and bred in Sunderland, and I moved to Amsterdam about 15 years ago. And
awesome.
Right. Ajax season tickets, so I'm kind of like in between. I was a long-suffering Sunderland fan for many years. Still am.
Well, you're keeping it red and white, though. Keeping it red and white by being an Ajax fan.
Yeah, so I finally landed in a place where, you know, I try and support the local team wherever I am,
right?
Providing they're not in rivalry with Sunderland, and that's never going to happen with Ajax. So I kind of landed on the lucky dice. So, 15 years.
So you go and watch Ajax all the time, and you got a season ticket there as well now over there.
Yep. Yeah, but
I did that stadium tour. It's very nice.
Yeah,
I like Ajax.
Did you get over for the final? Did you come over? Did you fly over?
No, I didn't. I couldn't get over. I'd been to a wedding a couple of weeks before. It was that sort of pre-COVID planning. I was disappointed. It was the first one that I haven't sort of decided last minute, just get in the car and drive. I didn't, and I think that's what's probably why they won. It's probably why they because I think I'm a
you're a jinx.
100%.
Yeah, well, there was a time when Blackpool were in a playoff final at the Millennium Stadium, and I had to go to a wedding in Italy, and my little boy was a ring bearer, and they both kicked off at the same time because they were like an hour. It was 4 o'clock in Italy, 3 o'clock in, and there's no way I could get out of it, you know. And I thought they're gonna win. I just know they're gonna win because I'm not there, you know, just simply because I just can't get there. And this kind of, you know, this thing was coming closer and closer because I kept thinking, we're going to do this because we're coming from nowhere. You know, I thought we would never be in the playoff final. You know what I mean? And as it got nearer and nearer, I'm thinking we're going to make it. And then we got into the, the actual playoffs. And then I thought, no. And yeah, of course, but they did win. So, you know,
actually, Damo, you're actually quite an interesting person to have on because what is the Premier League going to see with Ten Hag's Man United squad if he gets his way?
Well, he should, look, it's going to get worse before it gets better. He's definitely got a method about him. He's no nonsense. I've actually met him, so I'm part of this Amsterdam International Supporters thing. It was a bit active before Corona. It hasn't been that active since. His English is really terrible. Like for a Dutch person, considering
is it?
You work at the supermarket here, speak better English than I do. The kids, his English is really bad. Like it's something about Man United and Dutchmen who can't speak English. He's like Van Gaal.
Is that why you got Steve McLaren in to help him?
Yeah, well, obviously Steve McLaren speaks brilliant Dutch, doesn't he? So it's like he's just got the accent.
And then Joey Barton French.
Exactly. Yeah, I think he'll do really well. Look, what he's going to do, and I've had a conversation with loads and loads of Mancs about this, loads of Reds. He's going to improve players who are already at the club. He's got this method and this way of working, but the thing is with him is he wants young players and he wants them to run. Experienced players have to be the leaders on the pitch. When he came to Ajax, he came after fairly successful time under Frank de Boer domestically, but not in Europe.
Right.
And he just had this fantastic crop of players. So he had Matthijs de Ligt, Abdelhak Nouri, which we all, the sadness around him. Yeah. I think he would have been a fantastic player, or if the tragedy hadn't struck, and Frankie de Jong. And he just got this ability to see a young player and go, right, okay, I'm going to fit him there. I know what I'm going to do. I think bringing de Jong in is going to be exceptional.
Especially with Van der Beek.
Yeah.
Door's just about to go, so just say goodbye to Door. Thank you a lot for coming on. And, I know you've got your own show later on. If anybody wants to watch it, what are you doing tonight, Door?
Just talk about transfers, what's been happening with the club. It's the first time back a bit. I've had a week off on my channel because I don't know if no one knows we're back in the Premier League. So
I didn't know.
Yeah,
me and Burnley. If you're talking transfers, you keep Joe Worrell. We need to worry about him. Just let us keep Nick Pope for fuck's sake, please, please.
No, Dan. The whole topic's about Joe Worrell. About Joe Worrell not going to Burnley. So if you want to come on, Dan. We just talk about Burnley, then it's free, it's fine.
Yeah, there's 7 players usually. They're all going to Forest.
You're right. Peace and love, everyone. And I'll speak to you soon.
See you, Dor. Good luck with your show.
See you later, mate.
They have a new feature now on YouTube where we can actually bomb a channel afterwards. We can, if there's a channel still going, you can take all your guests over onto somebody else's channel. So maybe that's something we can do. Like, it's not quite right yet, is it, Jake? I think you're saying.
No, it's getting there. It's slowly getting there. It's just it's an interesting one.
Yeah, it could be. Really
is that something you can do via StreamYard?
It's basically what they're on Twitch.
I don't know. Can you do it on StreamYard? Do you have to be on YouTube
to do it? Got to be on YouTube Live.
Right. Okay.
I've never used YouTube Live. I don't know how it works, to be honest. It's I've never tried it. I've just always used StreamYard because it's kind of easier to do everything with. It works perfectly out of the box. So maybe we can't do that. So anyway, that was Dor. He's off to do his show because he's doing loads of stuff at the moment over Forest going up. So sorry I interrupted you there, Dino, as well. Just while you're mid telling us something.
Oh, me? Sorry, I was. Yeah, I think Ten Hag will really. I think he'll do well at United. Really, honestly, I think he'll do well, but it's gonna frustrate some of the United fans.
He does sound like a modern day Ferguson.
Yeah, he's got this. He's got his method of playing, and he
does sound like a bit of a taskmaster from what I spoke to people. He sounds like he got his way, and if you don't do it, you're gone.
Yeah, it's really funny because there's been like quite a few players on the periphery, like David Neres. He was a player I really like, impact sub, and he just constantly looked like he was stoned, but living in Amsterdam probably was. And he just, for some reason, he went out. He sent him to Sparta Moscow on loan. It seemed to me that we needed him this season. There's some decisions that I don't know whether he's making or the club are making, but the last couple of seasons, it's been bare, and he's brought in a few players. I mean, I was really skeptical about Haller. I was calling him a baby giraffe and everything. And boy, was I wrong about that. I mean, he definitely knew what he was doing.
That's always a surprise, isn't it? Well, actually, ask that question. I mean, have you ever signed? Has your club ever signed somebody and you thought like, oh no, who's this? And they turned out to be an absolute superstar. It does happen, doesn't it? The first time you see them, sometimes you think,
I'm a Sunderland fan. It's never happened.
I went to it happened like Carbonium.
We had Trevor Sinclair. Do you remember Trevor Sinclair?
Yeah,
he started at Blackpool, and when he ran on his first game, he was only young, about 16, and my dad just went, oh God, he's not going to be any good. His legs are too short, saying his legs are a little bit short, and he didn't like him. And honestly, he ate his words so much, my dad, after that, because he just was brilliant, wasn't he?
The one we can say, and we never played him, we let Jamie Vardy go because he was too short.
Yeah, well,
I'd say more from my era, probably Akin Bailly, because obviously he'd not really ripped it up at Leicester or alt like that, and then came to Burnley. It became an instant hero by getting sent off after 2 minutes. Funnily enough, that were against Sunderland. I think he strangled George McCartney at Turf Moor, and he got sent off within 2 minutes.
I remember him being strangled. I didn't think it was him.
He strangled him, got sent off. He'd been on the pitch, I think it was something like 132 seconds, something like that, and then he got sent off. Steve Cottrell came out afterwards. By the way, the worst Burnley manager in history. I hate it, and that's saying something because Coyle's a treacherous git. But yeah, Akin Bailly for me. Although somebody told me, my mate's dad said that Lee Dixon, the Arsenal legend, started out in Burnley's youth system. Played one game, and the Burnley manager said, "Wow, you're not good enough. You'll never make it as a footballer." And they terminated his contract there and then after that one game, after seeing how bad he was. Wow. And he obviously went on to become an Arsenal legend.
Actually, I just remembered another one. We had Eric Cantona, and Trevor Francis said he couldn't play on grass.
Oh,
really?
Wow.
Oh, my. You had Eric Cantona?
And then he went to Leeds.
God, yeah.
So we got a history of just having really good players and just not knowing what we know.
Sunderland with Ali McCoist. That's going to be.
Sometimes a player doesn't fit, does he? He just doesn't work at a certain. It just doesn't work, and then he goes somewhere else and flourishes. It is a thing, isn't it? It's not. It's with all clubs, I suppose. But
to be honest, at Ajax, you could have said that about Suarez, because he burst on the scene and as raw as a player you've ever seen. They signed him. It was Yol who signed him from Groningen, and he was evil. He was, and he actually bit a player before. This is not really well known. He actually bit a player. He bit Bakal at PSV versus Ajax. And he never played again. That was when Cruyff came in, the Cruyff Revolution started. Before that's, the rest is history after that. And Cruyff said he'll never play for Ajax again. And a lot of people don't realise that, but that's true. That happened. And he was pretty much sold to Liverpool for as much money as it would get.
You have a habit of picking up really good players. Because you had Zlatan. You have a habit of getting the players who were really good but got proper kind of like shithouse kind of players.
Yeah,
Sebastian Huntelaar.
Oh, the boss. I mean, you got like you're talking poetry there. I get tingle when you talk about what a player. And then he left Ajax. He went to Real Madrid and then Schalke, which is really close by. So a lot of the Ajax fans were very, very fond of him. And he came back. He was really good. He didn't really move a lot. Wasn't really that mobile, but just knew how to score goals. He's actually now at the club, and he's taken over Overmars' job.
All right.
He's now the commercial director of Ajax. He's been sort of molded into that position after the unfortunate ending with Overmars.
Mm. Well, I think it was very hard for Overmars to get another job.
Yeah, it's really strange because he's very, very popular. We love him, but it's in this day and age you can't do what he did.
Nah.
But he's now at Club Brugge.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he was re-employed pretty much a couple of months after. The guy's a genius. He's overseen pretty much everything that's good about Ajax for the last 10 years. He's at Club Brugge. I think he's licking his wounds. He'll be back, I think, at Ajax at some point.
You just need 10 years away of people forgetting what you did.
To calm down a little bit,
Well, Bruges have said you can work in no means, but sit in an office and don't tell anyone you work for us.
Yeah.
The True Red apparently was at Turf Moor today, says it because he works for Burnley Football Club. I suppose you'll know him, will you, True Red? Do you know him?
No, but it'd be nice to get you on the channel sometime and speak about obviously, what it's like working at the club, seeing certain individuals day in day out. It'd be nice to get that sort of insight. Obviously, I probably won't get too much information because obviously there's going to be certain things you might not be able to say. Confidentiality and work.
It'll just tell you how the grass is growing really well on the pitch.
Yeah, I've not seen a 9 on 7 foot Belgium defender walking on that grass. It's pristine.
So Dan, with Burnley, because I seen the end of last season. Where do you think you'll end up next season? What do you think the outcome's going to be? I mean, just broadly.
The fact that obviously still the manager hasn't been announced. We've probably got about 14 players on the books, pretty much, and 3 of them are long-term injuries. So it's going to be a complete rebuild. But Burnley, for me, have never been that team that have gone out and been very, very active in a transfer window. So I don't know whether this is where the tables turn, things... we start to see a bit of a revolution happen at Turf, and we start to come to grips with adapting to the way football's adapting nowadays, instead of just being that footballing dinosaur, lump it forward, 4-4-2, hoofball, head tennis sort of shit. So, it's going to be interesting. But realistically, I'm very open-minded about next season. I thought that we'd be comfortable. However, with the fact that we've got a major rebuilding process, we've not got a kit, we've not got the new manager's not come in yet, the backroom staff, because obviously there's that as well. There's not just the main man at the front. Alan Pace, when he came in, said he was all about communication, and he opened up a load of social media accounts, and since the Dash sacking, he's literally gone into hiding and not said a word.
We've had that at Sunderland as well. So I can imagine. I was when I was looking at the bottom half of this season, I thought that was more interesting. You sort of see Everton and Burnley, and you think, well, which one of them is going to do with Sunderland? I don't think you'll do with Sunderland. I think if Everton went down, I think Everton would do with Sunderland. Would definitely go through the leagues. Yeah, definitely.
It one of those things you look at that and you don't want your club to be known as that kind of they'll do with us. because you never want that. But
no, but I think you've got to be honest with you. You've got to be honest about where you are. Look, we made some pretty bad decisions, and we suffered because of it. And you are where you deserve to be in football. So you say unlucky or whatever. I don't think you'll have a Sunderland fan arguing with you about where we are, what we do. It's just you hope that the new owners have sort of learned the lesson, and you're going to be running it in a sort of more responsible way.
Well, are you still waiting to see if you're getting new owners, or is it a case of
Charlie? Good evening, Charlie. Charlie is a Bristol Rovers vlogger. For those that don't know, we're just talking about we're just talking about owners really at the moment, aren't we? Are we still kind of on owners? After the Derby, news today that they're in even more of a mess, aren't they? So, are the bad owners over there, Dino? Is it similar, or is it running a different way? The EFL over here are a joke, aren't they? Really, I think.
Yep. In the Netherlands, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ajax is sort of like, it's a PLC and it's partly fan owned. So I've got shares in Ajax. They run on the Bayern Munich model. So it's very much like, there's a big, so you have this token here, this fan token gets you in like the fan bars and stuff. So if you're a club member, my season ticket's €220 a year. And you get subsidised beer as well, and the away trips are subsidised. So it's, and the same with Bayern Munich. So that's one of the reasons why Ajax would not have joined the Super League. Probably a prime club to join the Super League, but certainly wouldn't have joined the Super League. But you do see these other clubs. So City have just bought NAC Breda.
Have
so
they?
They're probably going to turn the league on its arse. Yeah, that's going to happen, I think. And they're going to I know Chelsea did it with, Chelsea had a deal, or they bought a share in, I thought it was Vitesse.
Vitesse, yeah. They used to send all the players on loan there.
And it didn't really work out, but I guess City are a bit more clinical, so you never know. There was a Chinese guy bought Ardo Den Haag. So, and that didn't go down well. Pardew kind of seen them down at the end, I think. So it's the big clubs.
Didn't the guy at Leicester bought someone in the Dutch league as well?
Yeah, I heard that, but I thought it was Groningen. I thought so, but
oh, wasn't he? Oh, I can't remember. I don't know. Because I know he got a Belgium. They got a Belgium affiliate.
It might have been the Belgium affiliate. Yeah, because I think obviously they tried to sign George Hurst, didn't they?
Yeah,
basically. But then they signed him for the other club and then bought him off them.
So we got screwed in compensation.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we didn't get any of that 300k.
Oh.
It's just like, you want your 300k going abroad, you don't get it. It's like,
yeah, there's always this a sneaky way out of it, isn't it? So how's life in Charlie? How's life in Bristol, Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, it's been very quiet. I think, very quiet. I haven't made any signings yet.
No.
We've been linked with a few players. Tyler Walker, who was at Forest. Elliot Anderson coming back, but although he's now linked with Wednesday and Championship club, so whether he'll come back, I don't know. And there's been a lot of talk over Anthony Evans, who we got last year on a 1-year contract. He'd basically never done anything, not scored much. He was at Crewe. He went to Paderborn, and then we got him on a free, and he's done amazing. But obviously, because we got him on one to Paderborn in Germany.
Oh, okay.
Who I think they went up to the Bundesliga, or they were in the Bundesliga, but he didn't play much there. So yeah, it's just been a lot of talk with him, but yeah, with transfer, there's nothing really. No transfers made. A lot of players have left, like on a free, like Glenn Whelan.
To be fair, Charlie, the window did open on Friday.
Yeah, true, but there are. I mean,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, there are quite a few clubs that have done.
I think this week is going to be the week where you see a lot of clubs go a bit crazy because all the players are coming off holiday.
Yeah, like you said, loads of players have been on holiday. Barton's been in the Bahamas for 2 weeks with his family.
I thought you were going to say something else then. Whenever somebody said Barton's been in, I always think, where now?
No. Yeah, he's been away.
Jail, Barbro.
No.
We've got Lisa in the chat. She's from Derby County. She's just wishing us. She's hoping we look after our new manager. It's not confirmed yet.
It sounds like it's all but confirmed, though.
Yeah, it kind of does. I don't know much about him. Obviously, he's another one of those that's just, it's a typical Blackpool manager signing that he's not been a manager yet. And he was not one that was on anybody's list or the bookies list.
He's done well at being an assistant at Derby, and a lot of Derby fans have said that he's very much one of the ones that you look at. He's not one of the ones that sits about waiting. He's very engaged by the sounds of it with the players and stuff. So he sounds like he's probably, and because he's still that young age pro, he's probably going to have a matey mate feel with them, which might help, but also have that I'm still the gaffer, you're going to do what I say.
Yeah, let's hope so. I mean, we're all gutted over at Blackpool. We're losing Critchley, but he wasn't perfect. There was a lot of things about him. He's done well. Let's not get but there was a lot of things about the play that just for me, we weren't very good at set pieces. He never sorted that out. He didn't have a lot of bottle when it came to the end of games. He'd go really, really defensive, and you just you could feel the pressure coming on. He's throwing defenders on, and I like a manager with a bit more balls about him, really.
But Lee, your first season back in Championship, that was a great season.
He did really well, but it all kind of fizzled out into a really damp squib, and then obviously we didn't finish above Preston, which we should have done, which really hurt a lot of Blackpool fans, especially the last game of the season. The last two, because we had Derby and Peterborough, both relegated teams. Our last two games, and we lost them both. Lost them both.
I'm surprised you didn't go for someone like Michael Duff, to be fair.
Yeah,
because for me, it's a strange one. I mean, Barnsley's owners are becoming a bit known for not being the best at the moment. And then, obviously, with Blackpool, well, his record with Cheltenham says it all. He's gone in there, he steadied the ship, then got them promoted.
Yeah.
They missed out on the playoffs, got them winning the league, and then took them to the highest League One finish. And then you're thinking, this is a young manager on the up who's done pretty well in 4 seasons, and I'm surprised he's not been given that chance. Yeah.
Well, he's gone to Barnsley. They probably just offered him more money than Blackpool, I would imagine it. We don't offer very much. We don't really. We're not the highest payers of anything, Blackpool. So
candy floss and a free donkey ride. That
is. John Haley says if he's 30, what does he say here? 37 years old, same age as my son. If you're good enough, you're old enough. My son runs his own business. So there you go. 37 is it's not a young kid, is he? And he's been a good player, hasn't he? His dad as well on that. He'll have a lot of advice from his dad, I suppose, won't he?
It'll be an interesting one, because a lot of people were very much like, if Rooney goes, he'll step into this. He'll be the person to be the gaffer. And if you've got an assistant who's like that already, it's normally a good sign that probably going to be a good little manager. And it'll have the contacts as well.
Look at what happened with Carlos Corberan at Huddersfield. He were on Bielsa's backroom staff, probably didn't really get much of a say, but came out with his own method, his own tactics, and took Huddersfield to a playoff final. So it can work.
It's really weird now, though, because I'm getting to that. I'm 34, 35, and I'm starting to get to the point where I'm seeing players that used to play be managers, and I'm at that point where I'll turn around and say, I know I'm getting old now if people who I used to watch week in, week in are now managing teams.
Sunderland's billionaire owner is 23. So our chairman. So if you want to feel old.
You know what I worried about when I heard when he took you over? It's like, right, he's just going to play FIFA and Football Manager, and they just go, buy him. But
I wanted that. I actually wanted it. But we haven't seen it so far. And now we've got there's a story going around. We've got some crypto bros who are trying
that's dangerous.
To buy 40%.
Cryptocurrency crashed again in the last couple of days.
It's a very risky business, isn't it? John Haley saying that Clough was a first team coach at 29. Cloughy was a first team coach at 29. Keegan Parker, good evening, Keegan. That's a ex-Blackpool legend, Keegan Parker, in the chat. How are you doing? Scored the best goal ever at Wembley. To Keegan. Nice to have you in. Yes, Wembley hero in the house. I got there before you. What's this? True Red says, what's this? Looks like Blackpool will have a manager quicker than Burnley. It's unbelievable how long it's taken you to sort this manager out. I said it to Joe on Turfcast many times since Pace. So Dice, he's been dead quiet, hasn't come out saying anything. So it's worrying. It is worrying.
I was speaking to Joe about it. In this Slack chat group. Yeah. the thing is, they used to have our part of it. They used to have like a supporters board, and there were me, a couple of others. There's a guy that obviously True Red will probably know, Claret Turner. Less said about him, the better. The reason why is because, I mean, you can go back to Stan Ternent years. It was him alone who ruined us signing Michael Stewart from Man United as a youngster. And Stan Ternent came out and said, "Oh, it was Claret Tony and all his mob and stuff like that." And so, he's one of those fans that thinks we've all got that fan that thinks he is the club, breathes the club, runs the club. And yeah, he's that guy. But yeah, we keep saying we think the announcement's going to be tomorrow.
Right.
For the rumours and the murmurs are it's going to be tomorrow.
Is it still going to be company or have you heard?
Well, as soon as I saw Michael Duff to Barnsley, I thought, oh, that's a misprint.
Yeah.
So
who's he bringing in as his assistant? Is he bringing in his old coaching staff from Anderlecht? Or is he...
Don't like saying it, but he's bringing it, that former Welsh wing wizard.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Someone's asked me if I'm thinking Lee of Vlog BFC says, do I think that Bowler will go? Sadly, I do. I still think he will go. He's not gone yet, but that doesn't mean anything, does it? It's I don't know. We don't know with Blackpool what the situation is, with the players or anything, because
I think with Blackpool
bought into this manager, and
I think with your situation, it's one of one with all the stuff you've had over the years that you're just happy to have a club and still being able to go to games and actually being able to be fans of a club again, because you weren't so
and
long.
in the championship football as well.
Yeah, it's absolutely marvelous, and I've said it many times. I like the Championship better than the Premier League.
League One is horrible.
League One is horrible, and the Premier League is horrible. Really,
I can't wait to be back in League One.
I totally agree with you. The Championship is a really, really good league.
It's a great league,
really
isn't
solid
it's
league.
fun to
great
watch.
Grounds, great grounds. You don't know, who's going to win it. Really, anybody can win it. I know it is at the moment a bit, biased towards the clubs that come down.
Last season,
they don't always get back up.
Turned into like a mini little championship with how good it was and how it was amazing, very close.
Yeah,
it
was.
With League One, you've got we went down. We've been down a long time. Everybody then you're the team they want to beat.
Yeah, we had that this season.
And
it's like a giant killing act against you all the time, isn't it?
We were poor. A lot of players didn't have a lot of heart. We've had some of our worst players have been in these last couple of years. In fact, one of our podcasts did the worst 11, and I was driving to Belgium. I was just listening to it, going, "Jesus, was it really that bad?" But the worst thing was the refereeing.
Yeah, the referee's horrible.
Yeah, refereeing is terrible.
Yeah, you get these young lads, and finally, since this new owner's come in, they've got this director of football. Seems to have a little bit about him. He's brought in these young lads, and they're very good. They're from Man City and Liverpool, Everton, but they just get bullied by these big shithouses. And you want to finesse your way out of the league. You come down. We're gonna play like Brazil. We're gonna storm out that league. We clawed out that league in half.
I'm just going to bring in another Sunderland fan here, Dino. You'll know this lad. He's I think he's from Pakistan. Is he? Let's bring him in. Is he there? Good evenings. How are you? Can he hear us? Can he hear us? No.
Bad connection.
I don't think he can hear us, can he? Can you hear us? No. Okay. Never mind.
Yeah, it's been us Sunderland getting out of that league. I enjoyed it for a couple of seasons, and you're in sort of denial about whether you should be there. And once you're there, the games I did attend, I would like to have attended more, but with COVID, I couldn't travel. The games that we did attend, I really liked. I thought great. The away fans were fantastic. But yeah, it's enough.
You look at that league now, though. You've got us, you've got Sheffield Wednesday, you've got Ipswich, you've now got Derby possibly. You're looking at all these big clubs that are now down there. You're like, why are they there? And a lot of it comes down to being mismanaged.
Yeah, mismanaged owners, stuff like that. And there's loads. It's crazy when you look at it. Like with us going back up, and then you got like you said, Wednesday, Derby, Portsmouth. Obviously, Sunderland's just got out. Ipswich is still there. It's mad. It's
the big Bristol Rovers in there as well, Charlie. Don't rule them out as well.
Big Bristol Rovers.
Just bring him in again, see if he's back again. Can you hear us this time? Can you hear us?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, mate. I can hear you guys. So you probably know by now I'm from Pakistan. I've got this really shit internet.
Well, we can hear you this time. I couldn't even hear you before, so it's bad out there. Then is it the internet out in Pakistan?
Yes, I think you just answered your own question.
Well, you're just a picture at the moment. I don't know. Obviously, if we can't get you in, we'll try again next week or something. But sorry, I can't. We just can't. It is obviously shit in Pakistan, the internet. So sorry about that. Sorry about that. Oh, we got another Sunderland fan. They're all coming in tonight. All of a sudden. Hello, is that from Brazil? How's the internet in Brazil? We're international tonight. This is so exciting. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. And you?
You can hear us. You can hear us, okay?
Yeah,
we can hear you. Brilliant. How come you're Sunderland from Brazil?
Nah, it's a little hard some parts because you don't have the match on TV, so I need to find some websites to watch. On these 4 years on League One is the more hard because don't pass. But now that we got promoted, it will be easier because some championship games.
You'll be on TV every week now. You're in the championship.
Championship games.
I love Sunderland being back in the championship. So how did you become a Sunderland fan in Brazil? Is what I was asking. Why Sunderland? How did?
In Brazil, passed a lot of times Premier League in 2013 was passing a tiny derby in State of Light. And I know it was 1-1, and Fabio Borini scores in a late goal, and we went crazy with the fans, with the goal, because it's a beautiful goal. And started this game.
Right.
Renwar, was it the Netflix series also that kind of lured you in?
I showed for some friends the Netflix series, and they like it, the club too, and they started to watch Sunderland.
Sunderland Till I Die, that isn't it? For anybody who hasn't seen it, Sunderland Till I Die.
In Brazil, we have a lot but a big part of fans of Sunderland because of the Netflix series.
Reese Black Cats is saying it's a Sunderland takeover. Everywhere they go. Well, it's great to have you in.
The Netflix series.
Yeah.
Wherever I go, who do you support? Sunderland. Oh, they already know, and they all mention. Is that dickhead still in charge of the marketing? You know, the Charlie Methven guy. Yes, he is. But it's quite nice. It warms my heart because I go, I agree. We all think.
As much as fans took the piss out of the documentary, it actually helped you get more international and more of a global brand.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. And he did a good job. He got 60,000 in for that New Year's Day or whatever. He got your biggest gate ever, didn't he? And something. He did well when he first came in.
He's still a dickhead.
He's still in his.
I remember when I first watched that. That bloke, honestly. I mean, and that's the thing. Like you could tell from the first minute he started speaking, and the way he was doing all these meetings, and
One of my favourite.
It was almost like his shit smelled of perfume, weren't it? It was, honestly.
One of my favourite bits in that series was where I go, why the fuck is Ibrahimovic on this list? We're in the Championship. Where are you getting your players from? Do you think we can afford him?
We're going to try Pakistan. Well, he's back. If this doesn't work this time, we'll try you. See if we can. Can we hear you this time? Can you hear us? Can we hear you? Can you hear us? No. We're just getting nothing, are we? I'm sorry, Pakistan, but we'd love to have you in, but we just can't get you. Sorry.
John Haley's just said in the comments, Simon Grayson is now in charge of the Bengal Lancers.
He is.
The takeaway in Sunderland, or is there a team for it?
No, he's gone out to India, hasn't he, or something?
No,
he's gone to the Indian
Super League.
It might, to be honest, something like that might actually do him the world of good, because I think he was damaged by that show. He's never been the same since, and he wasn't the same certainly when he came back to Blackpool, and not the same man. And I think maybe he does need to get away from it all and go somewhere where, he's away from the English football and maybe get his mojo back. And because he was a good manager,
you know what I mean? Boothroyd actually gone to India as well.
Who? A.D. Boothroyd?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he'd gone to a team in India. No,
right? I've not heard that.
No. We speak with what's it called with Simon Grayson. It wasn't his fault. We were in free fall at that time. I mean, it wasn't. He bore a lot of the brunt. As you look, if you manage a big club like Sunderland with angry fans, you're going to get it. But when you look back, we were all angry at the time. We all thought he was a bit of a trade down. But to be honest, it wasn't his fault. I mean, a lot of the managers who've come in have just been fall guys. Thought they could turn it around.
I always thought Coleman was going to be able to sort it, but it just didn't.
I think that's why you've got to look at Alex Neil and say, well, there's an achievement, because everybody's looking at the Sunderland job going, if I can just be that person to turn that round.
Yeah, but I don't think Alex Neil had that in his mindset. I don't think he had it that I'll be the person to turn it around. He just liked football. He just liked to be in the game. I don't think he got.
Do you think Lee Johnson would have turned it around?
No chance.
No. Lee Johnson couldn't turn himself around. It's just Lee Johnson. There was just the highs were high and the lows were low. Too much.
Bill Bolton.
Squeaky Johnson.
Too much of this. Too much of that. Do you think he's
the manager that really hangs off his dad coattails?
I was just about to say that.
Well, I mean, I don't know whether Gary Johnson would have got the Sunderland job. I think he went in the boardroom and he talked his way into that job. And I don't know. I mean, I didn't hate him, but in the end, I really, really disliked him. And I just Alex Neil is perfect for Sunderland. Just doesn't see anything. He's very
let's see football do the talking with your teams.
Yeah, he one-word answers. That's it. Where I think Lee Johnson, people were enamored with him for a while and thought, he might have done something. But that 6-0 at Bolton, that just killed it. Turned.
Yeah.
I mean, he just chats too much. He just even at City, because obviously he was Bristol City manager and he played for them as well. And because I got a lot of mates, obviously I got half Rovers mates, half City mates, and they were saying the same when he was at City the last year. He just got too much.
Barnsley fans will never forgive him. Barnsley fans hate him, hate his back teeth.
Seriously saying that 6-0 against Bolton was the worst day in the club's history. Would you say that? Was it the worst day?
Well, yeah.
It was pretty bad, wasn't
it? In the morning, I woke up. I was in a good mood. I put on a comfortable winter day, and some Bolton fan dug it out, and I got lit up on social media. Quite rightly so. I had a nightmare the whole day. I was in the right state. In the end, there was one guy just kept on. I just had to block him. I took everything that was thrown at me. Just one guy was getting really personal. I don't blame him. So at the end, I kind of went to dig out the tweet and I realised that I deleted it to sort of the end of the season to say, well, 6-0, but we got out. To be honest, I think that summed us up. I think we wouldn't have probably got promoted if that hadn't have happened, because
he
I
made
think that-
such a change.
I agree.
It was a
short
defining
space of
moment,
time.
wasn't it? That
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
changed from that, really, didn't it? You know, you got rid of him, you got a new manager in, and it just all turned around, didn't it? From there, so maybe that was, you know, fate.
He's a good man manager as well, and that's something that you don't get a lot of credit for.
You know, the bizarre thing about it is Alex Neil came in and it was the same set of players. In fact, to be honest, we sold defenders that we needed, and Alex Neil came in, and I guess the thing with Lee Johnson was he messed about with the squad too much.
Mm-hmm.
But when he had loads of injuries, we were class because everybody knew their role and what they had to do. But give
He
him,
was forced to play him.
he's like a chef who would have like loads of too many ingredients and whack them all in a pot, and just mix it up. But if he just had the ingredients for a bolognese, his bolognese would be world class. And that's I think Alex Neil maybe had a little bit of that, but he come in, and I in the beginning I thought, the first couple of games, this is looking a bit like a crap season. But he just seemed to turn around. It reminds me of Roy Keane coming in after. Just
a good manager who could probably see the problems, Dino, I would say. He probably came in and thought, I can see what needs changing here. John Haley has just said that Blackpool, just remind me, Blackpool, we started our first game of the season and we lost 7-0 to Barnet. And then we got promoted and they got relegated. That's another fact for you there. So we got the last laugh, same as you on that sort of thing with your... we were getting loads of stick off Barnet, but they got relegated and we got promotion that season.
I'm not even going to get started on Burnley in first games of the season. I mean, Sheffield Wednesday when we got beat 4-1.
Akpo Soji show.
Oh, wow.
And Akpo Soji can be the only player who can have a really good first 20 minutes and then knacker his ankle in the same game and then go off and I'm out for the rest of the season, lads. Cheers for that, mate. Really helpful.
I'll never forget the season we got promoted under Coyle, because it started away at Hillsborough and we got beat. I think it was 4-1 or 4-0. And it was Diego Penny was our goalkeeper, Peruvian, and it was the only game he played for the club.
It was that bad.
Yeah, he was terrible.
So how are Sunderland going to do this year, lads? I've got two of you on. What do you reckon? Do you reckon you're going to do, or what are you hoping for? You're hoping promotion, playoffs, mid-table?
No.
Would you be happy with?
I'd be happy with just mid-table.
Mid-table.
A kind of season where we just find ourselves a little bit. Look, we've got some good players, some good young players. Will they cut it in the Championship? It's a step up.
Big step up.
And look, one of the things you could say about Sunderland and same about Ajax this season is we've had very small squads and we've been very lucky with injuries. If Ross Stewart had been injured at any point this season,
you'd be screwed.
Yeah. So if we finish 8th, 7th, 10th, I'm not bothered around that area. If we went up now, it'd be mad, because look, there seems to be some sort of plan with the
that sounds like a dirty word how you said that.
Plan. Well, I mean, no one in Sunderland knows what it is. We haven't had one for about 10 years, but we've got this plan, and I think if we can get a season where he can just establish himself, I think Neil could become quite a well-established Sunderland manager. And considering how many we've gone through in the last 10 years, mental, he could really establish himself and become a fan's favourite. We need stability. And the only way we're going to do that is if we stay in the Championship and we build and we push towards the Premier League. Yeah. But non-Sunderland will get promoted. We'll be in the Premier League with a crap budget. We'll come back down, back in League One, because that's just how we are.
Are you glad to see the back of McGeady? Because that guy was stealing a huge wage, weren't he, at Sunderland?
On his day, very good. We had him at
Wednesday. He was, yeah.
On his day, very good, but when he can't be arsed, he's useless.
Yeah, he's probably the last of the big earners, but then I don't know how much he's earning. I mean, they got Catamol out.
Apparently, we're on like 30 grand a week in League One, apparently.
Class. If he is brilliant, I mean, he seems like a really nice guy, and he seems to care. Look, he played with injuries. He really pulled it out for Sunderland, and he's seen the end of his contract out. Look, he's been a good servant of the club, and he suited us, and we appreciate him, definitely. Definitely a fan's favourite, and we'd like to see more of him this season. You don't know what he has behind the scenes with the young players, because a lot of young players have stepped up this season.
Your academy is actually very good.
Yeah, it is.
From what you get out of your academy, you get some real gems. And I think your young keeper, he's had a blinder for 19 years old. He's just, wow.
Serious says McGeady, he misses him already. And Niall Kane says that rumours that Lee Johnston is taking McGeady to Hibs. Anybody heard anything about that?
To be honest, he did play really well under. He played well under Johnson.
Yeah. He brought him back out from the cold, didn't he? Under the previous manager, and he went on he done so well. But obviously now it's an interesting because he had these little injuries, didn't he? I remember. I think it was the season that you had when you lost to Charlton in the playoff final. You had to bring him. He apparently was having loads of injections. I think injuries played a little part in that as well. Because I think he's 35 now, McGee. He's been around for donkey's years. Like
I remember when he moved from Celtic to Bartek Moscow, and everyone was like,
"Yeah, same here." Yeah.
If you look at Sunderland, we've had some cracking keepers over the years. Pickford,
you had Westwood,
Manon,
but we had Lee Camp. We had Lee Camp for a while. So now this young keeper's come through. He's really good. We deserve it in the keeper karma section because anybody who's had Lee Camp deserves some luck after that.
Lee Camp came to our Wednesday ground to train, and apparently got told to go after like a couple of sessions.
Really?
Yeah. If a man has stole a living as a footballer, it's Lee Camp.
Even this season, I've seen that he went to. I think it was 2 months until the end of the season. He went to Wrexham on a free contract, and then they got rid of him. But yeah, there was only one good club, and that was Forest. When he was at
Charlie, look at Westwood. We let Kieran Westwood go, and he had to go train at Crewe, I think, or Warsaw, and then he went to QPR and didn't really do much there. It's a hard one when you become a keeper because the moment you start getting into your late 30s, unless you're an absolute real good keeper and you're at a club that you're willing to stay at, it's hard to go find another club unless you're willing to go down a couple of leagues.
Yeah.
Seriously saying we just don't even talk about Lee Camp. He's tried to wipe him from his mind. So no more talk of Lee Camp.
I'm surprised you guys managed to get Patrick Roberts. I mean, even when you were in League One, I mean, what a player he is turning out to be.
He's been a good player for years. He's just been a Man City stupid. Oh, I'm a good player. We'll loan you out. Academy tour thing.
What a player he is. Well, you can see.
It goes apart.
Well, you could definitely see that he's not really. I think somebody meant. I thought he hadn't played League One before, but he had played League One for somebody. I can't remember who it was.
Was it like Norwich?
You could see that he'd been playing under 21s or whatever it is, and he just adapted to the physical side of it a bit later on. He got better as the season went on. Broadhead was really, really good from Everton as well. What a player he turned out to be.
Broadhead, yeah.
And actually, I think if he hadn't had the injury and had to go back to Everton, I think he would have been top class. I think he would have had a much, much better season. And I think we should be definitely looking to try and get him back on loan next season.
I think if he didn't get injured on the Arsenal game in Carabao Cup, I think we didn't lose against Bolton and Doncaster. I think we drawn, right? No, the teams on the bottom of the league when we played very, very bad. I think if he didn't get injured, I don't know, maybe we can get promoted without pass from the playoffs.
Yeah, easily. Yeah, easy. I'm not. I was going to say that Patrick Roberts. What contract? Because I'm pretty sure he's only He was only there till the end of the season, wasn't it? Yeah, that's what I mean. Because like before that, I think he was in France with or Troy, however you say it, and obviously he didn't do that well. But yeah, like Damo said,
Patrick Roberts started at Fulham, then he was at Man City since 2022. He went to Celtic, Genoa, Norwich, Middlesbrough, Derby, Toulouse, like you said, and Sunderland. I hate him because he scored against us when he was at Derby and he scored against us when we were in the bloody semi-final. I've always wanted to buy him because he's a cracking player. Can we miss as a Celtic fan? So I never heard the end of it.
But Charlie, I didn't realise he signed for, he'd played for all those teams, but he just seems to have found a home at Sunderland. And you know what? You're looking at like these young players coming in when we've had some crap on loan.
And he's only 25.
Yeah. And he's also, a lot of the players that we've had the last couple of seasons haven't played it in front of any fans. So they haven't seen it when it gets nasty. Because at Sunderland, it gets nasty. It's not like, oh, you're overawed by the occasion. No, I mean, it's generally quite vicious, because we lose. These lads seem to grow as the season went on. And the reaction from the 6-0 drubbing and the fans turning on the manager and him then kind of rising up, him and Roberts, him and Broadhead, you've just got to take your hat off to the young lads, all that adversity. And whatever they do after that, I think their experience at Sunderland helped them move forward.
You did well in January at getting Danny Barth in, that someone who could demand and command that thing. We had an offer for him. I think we only had a 1-year deal, and that's all we offered, and he wanted 2. So he went to you, because we've got a relationship there he helped us get out of League One.
Yeah, League One when it was like Lines and all that.
Yeah, with Linesy and Reader and stuff. So we were all hoping he was coming back. But he's such a good defender. He just knows where to put himself in that box. It's just his injury record as he's getting older, just not that great. So it could be worth having someone as a backup for him when you look in this season.
What surprised me, and probably Charlie can sort of, was Bailey Wright coming in, and him and Danny Bath having this, but they're two of them are really slow. So, like oil tankers turning. And I was a bit worried that they might get caught. But again, there isn't any fast strikers in League One, or certainly ones that can run with the ball. So we were quite lucky. But I was really surprised, one, there's no injuries there. And 2, that they didn't make any sort of catastrophic mistakes. Am I right in thinking, I don't know, Breno, you'll be able to see, was Danny Bath, was he in that 6-0 drubbing from Bolton? Was he the main reason for it?
I don't remember.
I think he was.
You've probably tried to eradicate it from your mind, Dino.
Why not? Yeah, he was. Him and Doyle at the back.
Yeah, and Doyle also. I think there's been some criticism from the Sunderland fans to some of the lads.
He scored no goals. It's serious. He scored no goals.
He did. 85th minute. It was I remember it now. It was like that really weird clearance thing.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It was a fantastic own goal. It was a really good own goal. Yeah. It was world class. And this, thanks for that. Yeah. I think a lot of the young lads have come in, they must have thought, what's going on here? The fans turning on them, crap results like that. But the fact that they've come back, I think is outstanding. And I genuinely think when we get into the championship, we will rely on loan signings, and people will look at the experience that these young lads have had, and the quality of the loans that you get will get better. Because
Charlie's going to test to that with Anderson last season.
Yeah, just one thing. Yeah, just one thing as well, and a few other players, because that's what Barton's done well with the loan market. But just don't. I always do it. I just always
don't fall in love with a loan player.
Always done that. So good, and then because obviously Elliot Anderson, whether he'll come back, I don't know. And the other one was Taylor, so it was a bit like when Barton was at Fleetwood and he brought in Harry Suter, and then after that season he's gone on to make his debut for Australia, been a mainstay in the Stoke team. Obviously last season he had a really bad injury, but yeah, just
I know we all joke at Barton, but Barton is turning into a very good manager.
It's been crazy. I said on the last show I was on here, and if you'd have seen me, December.
I remember when Barton thing. I sent you a message. You got Barton. You went, "Oh, great."
But when we actually got him, I was happy. But it was when, obviously that was last season, and to be honest with you, I didn't. Us getting relegated, I didn't blame it on Barton because I think he was brought in too late. Obviously, we had Garner and Tisdale, all them two shambles, and but obviously this season, he sort of changed it around. I think we had like I said last year, we had a lot of new players. I think we had 24, 25 new players, and it was always going to take time, but it's crazy, really. It's going to be interesting what he does in League One. I think, it'd be a lot more loans. I doubt we'll pay for anyone. I think last season we spent 50 grand on Loft from Scunthorpe, a striker, but we ain't going to be spending money. Our budget will be, I reckon, probably sort of a mid-table budget, especially with all the Wednesday, Portsmouth, everyone else in that league. So yeah,
I'd like to know what everyone thoughts on what Oldham will do now they've gone down to the National League. Do they think there could be a club that keep going down with the ownership issue that they've got? There's ugly themes there, aren't there?
Yeah, they have, and we were trying to warn them because it's very, they're very Oyston-like, where they're already banning fans and talking about suing fans and all that sort of stuff, and it's not the right thing. It's just not the right thing to do that to your fans. I tell you, the Oystons did it to us. It'll bite him on the ass. That it will. Eugene McGee was saying, would you like to see Ellis Sims playing in the Championship again? I suppose you guys won't know him, but I'd like to see him playing for Blackpool again. He was superb here, but.
That's the guy that played for Huddersfield and then got bought by Everton, weren't it?
Yeah, Everton. What a good player he is, but he seems to just keep going out on loan. He went out on loan to Scotland, but he played very well up there as well.
He does keep having little injuries, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, right. Charlie.
Yeah, but yeah, I was going to say the thing with Oldham. We played. I can't remember when it was, but it was one of our 3 defeats we had from January until the end of the season. We lost to Oldham away, and at that stage when they beat us, even though we played bad, I thought they were going to stay up because the fans were class up there. It was on a Tuesday night. We were awful. We lost 2-1, but I thought they were going to stay up. But now they've gone down. It doesn't look good, and especially their best player, I think, is Keeler Dunn. He rejected a new deal, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard.
Yeah, one of the reasons I mentioned it, because we sent one of our players on loan there. We sent Alex Hunt there. No, Alex Hunt. Dobbs used to play for us, and we let him go. And I was always gutted about that. I thought he was a player that we could do something with. It just never worked. We have a history of just letting youth team players go in and they come and bite us. But we sent Alex Hunt there after he went to Grimsby. He had a little bit of a guff belt at Grimsby, went there, and at that time he went there, we could see something wasn't right. It's like, why would you send a kid there? He's like 21, 22. But then I'm thinking maybe that it's a good thing. Give him that environment to know what that's like, and hopefully he'll never play in it again. It builds character, doesn't it?
It's very hard to get out of that non-league as well. It's hard to get back in the league, isn't it? I was going to say, when you go down, it's there's only one team guaranteed to get up. There's one place, and the rest and the playoffs are really like an odd, aren't they? There's so many different.
We
games,
were lucky. We were lucky when we went down in 2012-13 season. We got relegated to the National League, and like you said, it's hard because only one team wins the league, and then only one goes up in the playoffs. And you look at all these. And you look at Wrexham; they've been down there for years, and they're spending I think they bought a player in January for £500,000.
Well, look at when they started spending. Like they managed to get Cambridge striker.
Yeah, Paul Mullin won it. It's crazy.
Paul Mullin, you've gone to League One, you've got an opportunity to go. But I get it. Footballers sometimes don't have long careers. It's one tackle and your career's done.
Yeah.
So I get it. If you're going to go for the big buck, go for it.
Money talks. Money really talks.
Speaking of money, Lee, I don't know whether anybody else has seen it. I saw this. I've just come across it now on Twitter. That something about the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, has revealed that semi-automated offsides could be used.
Yes.
What's the ladder? How's that work?
Have you seen the one also that they want to get rid of throw-ins for kick-ins?
Oh, for God's sake!
Oh, you're joking.
No, they want to get rid of throw-in for something called kick-ins.
Yeah, they're trialing something in the.
It's them that need fucking kicking.
Dutch league, isn't it?
They're trialing something in the Dutch league at the moment. So there's a discussion about kick-ins. I think it's to do with the fact that it's only going to be
throw-ins become kicking. 5-minute penalty after yellow card. Dribbling at a free kick is allowed, and unlimited substitution, and a clear playing time of 2 30-minute halves.
Yeah, because there was a study done in the Dutch league in the lower leagues. And it said that the ball was only in play for an average of 53 minutes or something.
Right.
So what it'll be. It'll stop time wasting. Do you remember when they brought in the no pass back rule?
Yeah.
And I thought that was going to be the end of football and stuff. I think they can go too far. I mean, nobody wants to kick in. It's ridiculous. But maybe having this rule of a 16-minute play might be better for the fans because the game will go on a lot longer. You
know who brought in the kicking rule as well, who want to implement it? Arsene Wenger.
Yeah, he's behind a lot of this stuff, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but even stuff like that, I swear, like,
God, put in the comments, folks. What do you think? Kickings? Do we want kickings? Post in the comments.
Yeah,
that sounds like you're going to be kicking your rival.
It's just mad because that's what you do in like that's what you do when you play like 5-a-side. Like if the ball goes over head height, you do a kick.
They want to get rid of headers, don't they? As well.
Yeah, stuff like that.
But surely that if there's a kick in, right, everything's going to be a set piece, so there's going to be more headers.
Yeah, that. Yeah, I know. I think is it Burnley or is it someone like it's either Burnley or Bournemouth. They've actually banned heading in their academy.
Have they?
Like certain ages banned the heading.
Well, I mean, there's lots. Let's be honest.
There's lots of studies showing that it does cause
it does cause dementia and stuff later on.
Think of how heavy those balls were when the players who are suddenly getting them now, though.
Oh yeah, I mean they're a lot heavier then when they were leather, but I mean they are a lighter ball, but they're still pretty heavy. To head. It still does hurt. I mean, my son Sebi just says just do not want to know it. Any header that's coming down with snow on it, he's not going anywhere near it.
Yeah. Damo, I just want to go back to your point. When you said about obviously the games were, that there was a certain time frame of where the ball's in play and stuff. I don't understand why people would want to change that.
No.
Because at the end of the day, your job as a footballer is to keep that ball in play and try and keep the game flowing and try and keep the game going. But there's too much fapping around and pissing about with the rules that you can't do that. You can't fix something if it's not broken.
Yeah.
So I've got quite a so Dutch TV gives you this amazing football package for like 38 euro. So I get all the German, all the Belgian, all the Premier League and all the Dutch League. So I get so I mean my missus just sits there on her phone and I'll be watching Base Scott versus Anderlecht on a Wednesday night. I've got 3 screens.
My dad was.
So and I just like
that.
But you know, a lot of nonsense and you see a lot of crap football. But sometimes, especially the German league, I kind of get away with the German league. I know it's a decent standard and Bayern Munich is great. I just can't get away with it. And there's a lot of passing the ball backwards and forwards, a lot. And I guess what they're trying to do is make it more exciting. I'm with you. I don't want to change. I don't want to change football too much. No. But you know what?
It just favours the big sides though that are trying to get the ball down and play football. Sometimes, as a shitty club that's just coming up, you've got to do the dirty work. You've got to stick 11 men behind the ball. You can't just throw everyone forward. They'll be blowing out their arse in 2 minutes.
I know.
I mean,
this is a game of defending and attacking, and it's not just about attacking, isn't it?
Yeah, and the 5 sub rule, isn't it?
I'll ask a question to the group.
Go on.
Right, you can swap VAR for one of those things. So you can swap VAR for one of those things because I would get rid of VAR. It's horrible. Yeah,
well,
Jimmy
McGee was just actually asking the thing: would we like to see VAR in the Championship next season?
No,
yes, no, I think it's
no. That's one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to next season because I can actually celebrate when the ball hits the back of the net.
Do you not think though that it's VAR could be a lot better if they actually used it for what it was supposed to be used for, and that's a clear and obvious, the absolute clear and obvious, not just every single little finger.
They should do what happened in Italy. In Italy, there was a goal that was meant to be offside. I think it was Lazio fans had their flags in the position for the VAR camera not to see it, so they couldn't check it. It counted. It was such a great thing to see.
If you sort of like when you're in the stadium at Ajax and there's a that's because Sunderland no VAR, but you look at the stadium at Ajax, sometimes there's stuff going on and you don't know what's going on. So you're like, the game stopped. And if you've gone for a pint or you're bringing the beers back or something, you're standing there, you miss like what's going on. Everyone's looking around, but I don't know, and then it comes out and the game stopped for 3 minutes. People get annoyed.
So it ruined goal celebrations as well. You can see the players after it's I've had enough.
Yeah, they're not sure if it's a goal, and well, if you don't know what's going on, you're all a bit like Chris Kamara, then, aren't you? Reece says, ask Damo about the crypto guys. I think wanted to buy 39%. Is that in Sunderland then? Is that?
Yeah. So we have a majority shareholder, the 22-year-old lad, or he's probably a little bit old now, maybe 24. He's come in, and his family have got a pedigree. They own Marseille and a few other football clubs. They're not he's definitely not just some 22-year-old playing football manager like I hoped he would. And what happens? We've got these, the guy, the dickhead from the Sunderland.
Donald and Charlie, idiot.
Yeah, Charlie Method. So those two are still at the club, parasites. Taking everything off. They're now wanting to get out, and the rumors are that Tom White come out and said they're selling to a crypto group. And clearly what's come out is that they seem to have the funds up front, and they're with the EFL at the moment. So the EFL will probably pass them, to be honest with you. EFL will pass anybody. And I think how they plan exactly. How they plan to recoup that money is by creating some sort of crypto token, and they want to put 12% into a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization. Yeah, so fans can buy in and then can make decisions. I actually understand the crypto and the DAO thing quite well. I don't understand
how's it work in a football sense.
I'm a big fan of a DAO. I think it's better than massive corporations owning everything and running into the ground. But do you want that experiment at your football club? No, I don't.
That's what I mean. No,
and kind of my further point would be,
it just looks like more future nightmares.
That's what I mean.
How would the DAO work if it's only 12%?
What's a DAO? Sorry, just for anybody who's watching who doesn't know what a DAO is. What is a DAO? Just explain.
It's a sort of a decentralized. It's a decentralized
banking system.
It's association. So I can't remember what it stands for. But what it is basically it's a computer program.
Right.
It's on a blockchain, and you sort of you buy the rights to vote for certain things. So you'll buy a token. That token will allow you to vote for certain things. You'll vote in rights and that sort of thing. But you would only be 12% of the 40% that they own. The majority shareholder owns 60% of the football club. So it would be impossible. Even a very simple DAO, what would 6% of fan ownership actually really bring? Nothing,
That's just mad. That's mad. Like, you've got all these. It's just crazy how there's sort of three or however how many people that's got different percentages in one club. Like, I'm glad. Rovers is only just one.
Yeah, I'm listening to this going. I'm glad Chancey is just 100%. He owns it. That's it.
Yeah.
Same here at Blackpool. It's the same here.
I think if the EFL allow this, I think it's the end of the EFL. I can't imagine it's going to be fit for purpose after this.
I don't want that to happen to your club, but I don't mind. I don't mind the sound of that.
Yeah. I mean, if you take a look at it, right? They also bought. So they bought a share of a third division Greek club that looked like the Dog and Duck. And if you kind of I deep dived into there and looked at the press conference, Jesus, it was talking about taking them hostage. Nobody at that club wanted them there. This guy is a bit of a con artist. Apparently, he's got 3 surnames. He has different. So he sounds so dodgy. The AFL will probably give him permission. That's just
madness.
But you're going to see more of this. You're going to see more of this.
Well, I'm pretty sure American crypto lot wanted to buy Bradford middle of last season, and they didn't go through, or they didn't do it in the end. It just
did some crypto millionaires not buy some non-league club? Am I getting my wires crossed? Was it what was the Punjabi FC thing? What were they? They were all crypto, weren't they? The people that took them, or were they some sort? Pretty sure. I don't know, but it all just sounds, honestly, crypto. I'd like to have been on it and got rid of it when I made my millions, but I wouldn't like to be buying into it now and just think it's sinking money. And I just think it's just so dodgy, isn't it?
It's if you can do it properly, you know what you're looking for, you can make a lot of money. But you got to get out at the right point because it dropped again. When it's high, it's good, but you got to keep it. You can't just leave it there. You have to be always on it.
Now, though, how much has it dropped to? How much could? Because I remember when it first came out, and I remember seeing it. I remember seeing it years ago, and you could basically get one for one, couldn't you? $1 for $1 sort of thing. And I just thought that just sounds a load of baloney, to be honest. Yeah, I didn't bother with it, and I see it going like millions. There's people
at the moment. I mean, I don't know when the last time Bitcoin was 25 grand, but then the point, Lee, there, which I bring up is, so there's all this talk about Sunderland being acquired by these crypto bros.
Yeah.
And probably what they can do is somebody will front the money up. They'll show the league they've got the money, and the crypto and selling the shares will be about how they fund further transfer business. And I'm not sure how that works. But what would happen? Like yesterday, there was a massive crypto crash. Loads were wiped off.
Crypto crash, latest Bitcoin withdrawal still blocked by the binary, so nobody can get out. It's like 24,000 Bitcoin had crashed below 24,000, reaching its lowest level since the end of 2020.
Right. Okay.
It's just if you know what you're doing, you can make money. But a lot of people who do it just see it as a new way of banking, and that's not what it is.
I'm waiting for it to get down to £1.
Have you guys ever seen this William Story guy? Rich Energy CEO.
Yes.
Yes. Like I'm kind of like, I've a bit of contact with him on Twitter. Just I find him a fascinating, interesting bloke. Wouldn't like him to own the football club. I think he's one of these COVID deniers. But he's this guy who looks like Hagrid, and he hangs around in a Sunderland top, and he seems to turn up at these Formula One events, sponsoring cars or whatever. And he sort of like inserted himself. He's going to buy the football club. He's been going to buy the football club for about 4 years. And he's like everybody's uncle who turns up at a wedding that everybody tries to avoid. He's just become part of the furniture. I couldn't imagine Sunderland without a William Story show. But follow him on Twitter because he's hilarious as a parody.
What's he called? William Story.
Energy CEO.
Energy CEO.
Rich Energy CEO. William
Rich
Story.
Energy CEO.
And he's been trying to buy Sunderland now for about 4 years. He's had consortiums together.
I do know him.
He's brilliant.
I followed some of his stuff before.
Get him on, because I tell you, he's really.
How can I get him on?
Just DM him. Just
he'll
him
come on.
He'll come on.
He is honestly, he's a really funny
bloke. Right, for him, it's all about building his brand.
Get him on for us. If you already talked to him, Damo, get him on. We've got to see this guy.
I'll reach out to him. I'll get him. I don't. He generally responds. I'll message him now. Come on.
We'll get him on. Seriously saying that William Story is mental. Loudmouth couldn't make it tonight because he's out scouting a match for. He was coming on, but at the last minute he's had to go and scout. They're looking at players for his team, that he coaches. So that's where he is. He's watching some little non-league.
He's blocked me in his DMs, so I don't know whether he's.
Did you annoy him?
No, he generally goes on. I think it's because he's involved in this. It wouldn't surprise me if he's involved in this crypto thing.
He's been in the UK last couple of days by the looks of it.
Yeah,
seriously, say he would come on. Well, we need to. If somebody knows him and they're not blocked by him, get him to follow me, and I'll bring him on. We've got to hear this guy. So he's a Sunderland fan, is he? He's actually a Sunderland fan.
I don't think he's even a Sunderland fan.
But he's wearing a Sunderland top. He just wears a Sunderland top for just no reason.
Yeah, and it's some random one as well. Like it's a random Sunderland top that he's bought at a charity shop, and he says he's got all this money. He owns an energy.
Oh yeah, so it is.
And he just randomly turns up. He's got a lot of very dubious views on COVID. He's not took the vaccine, I tell you that. No. He's like one of these people.
There you go. Further to our offer, the 100% share, we have now made a new offer of 39 per share. I can confirm that I have nothing to do with the crypto guys at Sunderland.
Okay. Well, stand corrected. Sorry, William. Sorry, Bill Story. But he's
a West Ham fan, says Sirius. He's a West Ham fan, apparently.
I think he's definitely from that way, but he must live in Sunderland because he turns up at every single photo opportunity with his Sunderland top on, and he must carry his Sunderland top around with him because I think he gets in the paddock at Formula One, and it's really funny because I was at the Dutch Grand Prix and I seen him. Right. I'm convinced it was him, kind of like lurking around the paddock.
He does get to the Grand Prix a lot, doesn't he?
Do you like the? Do you like your Grand Prix? Then do you like the Formula One stuff, Damo? Would you like that?
I live about 10 minutes from Sandford, so
right.
it was like I'm not really into Formula One. To be honest, I didn't. But as it sort of become quite big here, and Max Verstappen and stuff like that, I've kind of swept along with the bubble.
I've never been. I've always thought it's one of those things where you just go like, whoosh, and everybody goes past you, and that's it. Like, they just go past so fast when you're there. You can't. I don't know. I suppose they've got big screens up now and everything.
Much better on the telly.
Yeah, I would say.
See the race.
Yeah, the atmosphere will be good, I suppose. Will it there on?
Very. The atmosphere is very good. Yeah. I mean,
but the cars go past so fast.
Yeah, it's the build up, and you're there all day. You just got to be careful you don't drink too much, because you'll like by the time the game comes, you won't be able to see the track. I've done that a few times.
It sounds great.
So yeah, he's a West Ham fan. Yeah, somebody serious has just said.
Seriously says a West Ham fan. Yeah, says he's mental. He is mental. Yeah, see this show.
I'm looking at Twitter now. Jeez.
We've got about 15 minutes left on the show, folks. We're going off at 10. So if anybody's got any last things, any comments you want to post in the comments or anything you want to talk about, certainly ask us. We'll have a chat with our friend there in Brazil. You're very quiet.
I'm just hearing you guys. I'm very funny.
So who do you watch in Brazil? Do you have a team in Brazil that you watch?
I don't know if you guys know, but I love Palmeiras. He won our Champions League here, the Libertadores, twice.
Right.
I love.
Do you not follow a team? Do you not have a local team there? Do you not have a local football team that you follow?
Wait, can you repeat?
Do you have a local team? A Brazilian team that you follow?
No, yes. This club, Palmeiras.
Oh, sorry, yes. Right, yes. Are you any good at football yourself? Normally everybody in Brazil is good. They've all played on the beach or something since you were a kid. Are you good at football? Are you a good footballer?
No, yeah, I'm good on football. I am a very good goalkeeper and central back.
Okay.
But recently I get injured my knee. I don't know the translation, but in Brazil we call ligamento, like what make your knee.
Yeah, cruciates.
You this. Yes.
The cruciate.
So I get very, very a serious injury, and I am 2 years getting nothing.
No,
I can't play.
It's a bad one. Knee ligaments are really bad.
Yeah,
really bad. My ex had a bad skiing accident, and she did her cruciate ligaments, and she had to have them taken out. She had she did medial ligaments and cruciate ligaments. It was a real mess. Somebody went into her from the side with some,
I have a photo here of my knee. It's not. If you guys want to see,
is it bad?
No, actually, not very bad.
Everyone look away.
Yeah, not very bad, but I still can't walk very good.
Heinz says you speak better English than Damo.
I don't know.
It's true.
Oh, just pull it back. Oh, yeah. Oh, has it got a screw in?
Is that his knee?
Yeah. Oh, just pull it back a bit. Just pull it back away. It's the lights making it. Yeah.
Turn the lights on, please.
No, I just can't. It's too bright.
Oh, there it is.
Oh.
Wow, that's mad.
Ouch.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That hit. How did you do that?
No, one day I would wake up to do normal things, and I put a normal pressure on my knee, and my knee, and I dislocated my knee, and on this movement, my ligament ripped, so it crushes, and yeah.
Ouch. Luca, there's your shout out. Next time you're gonna have to super chat me for shout outs. That's what we've shouted out to Luca.
MK Don's part timer, isn't it, Luca? Isn't it? Part time Arsenal.
You going fishing, Charlie?
You really know.
Hey, Dan, do you think,
Yeah.
obviously, you've got a Sunderland legend at your club now, not anymore he's left, that's Phil Bardsley. Is he going to retire now, do you think, or do you think he'll carry on playing?
He's linked with going to Derby, funnily enough.
How?
I don't know how.
Well, Rooney's his mate, didn't he? He knocked him out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like best mates, aren't they?
Yeah.
Him and Phil.
Loved him at Sunderland. Really, honestly,
absolute gem of a guy as well. I mean, he's just. I'm actually gutted to lose him because he's such a team player. And he dies for the cause as well. He don't give a shit who he hurts. He don't care who he's tackling. He does not give a shit, and he will play with his heart on his sleeve. So it's going to be hard to lose him because that was the second time we'd had him because we had him on loan from Man United as a young lad.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it because it's the only time I turned up to a Burnley game late by 5 minutes, and we lost the game 1-0 due to a Phil Bardsley own goal.
Australia versus Peru has gone to penalties. Apparently, I'm just looking here. It's 3-3 on penalties at this moment in time. That's a big game, isn't it? What's the? Does Australia need to win this to go? Is it a World Cup?
Apparently, Everton are looking at being bought out by Peter Canyon, fronting a consortium to buy Everton.
Peter Canyon.
You remember Peter Canyon from? Is it Chelsea? I want to say.
Yeah.
It looks like he's looking to buy Everton.
Wasn't he United as well, Peter Kenyon?
Former United and Chelsea CEO is part of a group that includes UF businessman Mackie Kifmish and John Foreman to buy out Everton.
Machine certainly won't sell.
Surely that's not true, is it?
Not William Story.
Owen Oyston rumored to be putting in a bid for P&E. Don't think so. I don't think he will be. It's 4-4 on penalties now. Blooming heck. That's Australian.
You know what?
Peru.
It's weird at the moment, because this would normally be the World Cup time, and I'm proper wounded because there's something about the World Cup, beer gardens, finishing work, rushing about, and the Netherlands all kind of like becomes really orange, and everybody they do like mad stuff. It's just not going to be the same. I know it's going to be
it's going to be
so many
weird,
people are not going to be able to watch it due to them working.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. It's going to be like League One. I think League One and League Two are still going on, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Well, it was a stupid. It was a stupid decision. We should have got this bid. Everybody knows England should have had it. We were conned out of it, and I still don't get, and I'll never get why they've done all this for them, and it's just it's not going to take off in their country. It's not possible. Football is not going to take off. They've got 6 stadiums, have they? Whatever they've built, or whatever they've had to build the towns around them to actually have the stadiums. So how are they going to? What sort of football is going to be over there?
Australia are going to the World Cup.
Oh,
beating Peru.
That's all could lose Massimo Luongo then.
Yeah, Bailey Wright as well. He'll be there.
Are they through?
Australia won it. Yeah.
World Cup.
Wow,
that's mad, isn't it? Australia, mine. Like players like Matt Ryan and Super.
They got Kenny Dougal's been playing for. I don't know if he's playing for him tonight, but
that's good for you, Brendan, because obviously Peru's obviously like a bit like a rival nation. Yeah.
Oh, it will be. Is Peru a rival for Brazil?
No, I'm good. I'm happy about Bailey Wright that he's going to World Cup.
Yeah,
it's amazing, isn't it? Well. Yeah. Sirius says, I can't be dealing with this Nations League rubbish. Just realised 10 minutes ago there was a match tomorrow. Is there actually an England match tomorrow?
Yeah. Hungary at home. They'll probably lose 1-0 again.
Oh, it was so poor.
It's awful, isn't it? I watched that game.
It's the worst football, isn't it?
It was terrible. I'm so glad. I've actually had some good football to watch at Rovers this season. I'm glad we didn't get relegated and then have to watch Southgate football as well, because it'd be even worse.
But why don't the way England play football is not the way that English clubs play football, is it really? No, we don't play there's not many teams in the Football League over here that play a similar style of football to what England play. So those players, when they go and play for England, they're not playing their natural game. They're playing this. I don't know. It's just I don't know what it is actually half the time. I don't. Half the time we spend
negative.
It's totally negative, but that isn't. That's not what the Premier League is. It's not what the Championship is. It's not what. There's no league in England plays football like that.
It turned into one of the England team. Turned into one of these clubs where if you have the ball all the time, you'll be fine. It's like it doesn't matter if we can't put it in back of net. And if Kane does any kind of injury from here till like the World Cup, it's done.
We are, aren't we?
But even that though, even in the Euros. Even in the Euros, Kane didn't play that well.
No.
He scored a few goals, but we didn't. Even in the Euros, we weren't amazing.
Who are we predicting to be the next?
Just that one game. Just the one game.
Get the next job because it's gonna be an FA man.
I just wish it'd be. I just wish we'd play. I wish we would play our game and stop worrying about everybody else. Just play English football the way we play English football.
People are
trying to be Spain.
Get Graham Potter, aren't they?
Yeah, I'd take Graham Potter. He'd probably change it up a little bit.
The thing is, it's that the difference with the FA is that they'll see the vote, they'll see that people want Graham Potter, and then they'll be like, we'll cross him out then. Yeah, you'll end up with someone like Sean Dyche, and I'm not saying that. I just think that I think that's a backward step personally.
Sean Dyche with Sam Allardyce as assistant.
Well, seriously saying the fact we have so many attacking players and play the most negative football, it doesn't make any sense, does it?
No, it don't.
These players, you watch them week in, week out playing for Championship teams, and they do not play that style of football at all. I just don't know why we just don't play to our strengths. I mean, we should have just gone at Italy for me. I thought Italy were there for the taking. I thought I didn't think they were a good team. They were aging. They were old. They didn't even look good in the final, and we just got a goal and then we just sat back, didn't we? And we just let them get back into the game.
That's what I mean as well. That Italy team that we played, it was completely different because all their older players have now retired. Mancini's brought in a new era of Italian football with younger players. I mean, that average age team Italy played was really young. And
it looks useless.
You sum it up with Grealish. So, like I watch the Netherlands and I'm watching, my kids are big Dutch fans, so they're born here. You watch both sides, and what England need is a shit house, and Grealish is that shit house. We were really clinical with Vardy because he was just horrible, and I love it. And I think that's what you're trying to say, Lee. We just need players who are going to go in a bit. And I think Grealish has got it all. He's got the
a wind-up merchant.
I like Grealish.
But Southgate hates him though.
Yeah. Well, why? It's so exciting when he's on the pitch, isn't he? He gets your free kicks. He gets the ball. He takes them on. He's exciting, isn't he, all the time?
The thing is, for me though, for Grealish, I'd rather see him come from spring from the bench. And I only say that because we saw it in the Euros how much of a difference it made when he came on.
When he comes on,
you've got their defence who are knackered. And then you've got this guy who's just coming onto the pitch trying to run rings round you, and you're tripping him up left, right, and centre. He's going down like a sack of shit. But because he's going down as a sack of shit for England, it's great. If he went down as a sack of shit for Man City and you're against him, it'd be every other name under the sun. But you know what I mean?
Champions League when it all kicked off and Pep had to scream at him and drag him away because he was just winding the players up. He was just,
that was crazy, wasn't it?
He was just being Jack Grealish, the Brummy lad who just wants to wind people up because he can.
He's an individual. Like all the England players now, they all media trained and they're all.
Look at him in the celebration for City. Yeah. He was hammered and loving it.
Well, somebody put on Twitter, he's like he is to football what Freddie Flintoff was to cricket.
Yeah.
He can be himself and express himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like a toned down modern day Gaza, isn't he, in terms of like the way he sort of approaches things and just likes to have a laugh and he's like, and probably shitting in his mate's fridge or something like that, like these footballers used to do. And
you've been listening under the cosh, haven't you?
I have.
And it's funny, right? You like if you look at say. I thought England were doing quite well. Southgate's gotten them to a certain level. Yeah. I think they are at a good level. I think Southgate's done some good things. But this Nation League situation has been really disastrous for it. On the other hand, with the Netherlands, it's been fantastic for them because they seem to have found their spirit. They seem to have found this fight. So I think if we were in a bad situation and people went into this, and a lot of these lads now want to be on the beach. They've had a difficult season. They've played 40-odd games, and they want to be away with their families because the season's going to start again. When does the season kick off?
Soon. Well, July, isn't it? July, it kicks off. So it's not far away, really. So they're going to have no break, are they, really?
It's just crazy as well because most of the players have, that's the thing, most of the players have played like 60 plus games.
60 plus games.
Yeah, like you look at all the Chelsea players. I think was it Bell done an interview the other day? Like De Bruyne's played, like, if you include club games and country, De Bruyne's played over 70 games this year.
Jesus, that's a lot. I know they're not heavy drinkers like they used to be, and I know that they have got drivers and ice baths and all sorts, but 70 games is a lot.
And this is why, when Klopp said it, this is why no one done the quadruple in the UK. It's too many games.
Well, over here, which is really weird, they have a winter break. And Ajax just seem to really benefit from it. They go off to Dubai with their family, and they just look more refreshed. And I think that's why we haven't had a lot of success in the Champions League over the years. It's because that winter break can really, really help. And it's going to be interesting to see how clubs benefit from this break in November. There's going to be a lot of clubs who probably, because by the time it's over, you're going to be into a transfer window, right? Because
hey, Charlie, what's the break in November? We don't know what one of them is.
Yeah, innit? Christ.
Yeah, you don't. Yes, it's only the top two leagues, obviously. The
big boys. But is it?
They don't get the break.
But when does what's the dates for the World Cup?
It's November through to about the 8th of December, isn't it? Something like that, around about the middle of December. So
it's going to be crazy, isn't it? Like,
we're back for Christmas,
like the World Cup's going to finish, and like 2 weeks later, it's Christmas. It's just going to be weird.
It's just
but can you imagine how mental the transfer market can be in January? Because there can be all these people who've done really well in the World Cup.
World Cup, yeah. They're normally signing in the summer, aren't they? It's going to be crazy.
And of course, it's 2 weeks later, isn't it?
Yeah.
The transfer window is 2 weeks later. So you're going to come back after the break, then start playing again. It's going to be really. I'm not sure I like it. I don't like
that weather as well. The weather is going to be like hot. It's going to take it out of them as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be insane. It's not going to feel like a World Cup year at all.
No, it's not at all. But do you not think it just might benefit us with the fact that it's in the middle of our season rather than at the end of our season, and all the players should be?
Because
no, you don't think it will.
I think it could actually
be playing well.
This season could be one of those seasons where you see someone like Aletta win a league because the players that have got injured out on international duty. The big clubs.
Ian Barron says ban international football. It's not needed anymore. Really?
I completely agree.
Do you just ban it altogether? No more World Cups, nothing. Just
awful.
The sentiment of international football was gone.
Was way better.
It's gone now. The sentiment of being called up and it being a matter of pride to play for your country is gone.
Look at
now
it's
just a case of turn up, play a game in a fancy kit, in a nice kit for your country. As people said earlier, it's now just seen pretty much as another way of getting yourself in the media.
And you know what's really funny, Lee? This isn't a minority view. I don't agree with it. I mean, but it's not a minority view. A lot of people think like this. I think that's why Arsene Wenger said, "Why don't we just have the World Cup every 2 years?" Because he's kind of got a point. And I do think if there's one thing you got to modernize, it's international football. I love the Euros.
Yeah.
I love the idea of going over to France to watch the team and all that kind of thing. I love that idea. But I think Wenger's got a point.
Yeah. Every 2 years you want the World Cup, do you?
He said something about having every 2 years, and it sounded
Then are you going to
weird.
go on with the Euros then?
I think they want to ban it. They want to get rid of it. So make the Euros World Cup Nations League and just have World Cups.
Well, I mean, it's so bent, isn't it? There's so much trouble. And FIFA really were. Well, they were under a massive investigation that they investigated themselves, didn't they? But
and you really believe the outcome of that investigation?
No, not at all. That they are corrupt. Well, they just are, and you know this whole World Cup we're playing now, it should have never been there. And you know, money changed hands, but England are never going to get the World Cup, so I'm never probably going to see a World Cup in my lifetime. I don't think in this country. So
So I've got a theory, right? I'm really against the World Cup being played in Qatar, and I'm quite open about it on Twitter, and I'm quite boisterous about it. Look, we probably shouldn't get into this whole sort of what I call it social justice situation. But you've got all these people taking these stands, brave, taking the knee, whatever you think about it, whatever you don't think about it. Then you go to Qatar and play, where the stadiums you're playing in have literally been built on the backs of 2,000 or 3,000 people have died doing it. So you can't cry for social justice in the Premier League and do all these things you're doing and then go out and play.
And it was always going to be that way, though, wasn't it? It was always going to be that people would die building these stadiums because they just had to build so many stadiums in such an amazingly quick turnaround. You know that it was just in a place where there probably is no health and safety like there is anywhere else, is there?
But I can't believe there's no more. There's no. I mean, I can't believe people are just tolerating it. I'm really shocked. I'm shocked by the silence of it. And I tell you what, this is my prediction. England will win it. Yeah, he's right. Money. England will win it, and it'll be the one tournament I didn't want to take part in, and I'm going to have to shove it up the Dutch guys at work about the fact that, well, I thought you didn't want it. Be quiet. We've won it now.
There's no way. There's no way.
The biggest hypocrite on the planet, because I'm going to celebrate and have the extra star and say you haven't won the World Cup and that kind of thing. Yeah, and I can it's written in the stars. I kind of almost hope we don't win it because it would almost
no way England are winning it for me anyway, especially with Southgate in charge. We're so easy to play against. I think.
How are you about the heat alone will beat us?
Exactly.
Are the stadiums air conditioned though? Is that not right? I mean, Ian Barron's saying the stadiums are air conditioned, so I don't know how air conditioned they are. Have they all got roofs on?
Yeah, apparently they can get down to 17, 18 degrees playing temperature.
Yeah, so
even that, I don't have any faith with the manager in charge at the moment. No chance.
How are Brazil going to go on, Brenner? So somebody's saying, let you speak here, and Barron's saying, let him speak.
Brazil, we have a good team. We have Rafinha from Leeds, and Neymar from PSG, Alisson. No, we have a very, very good team, but I don't know what happened on quarterfinals. When Brazil reached the quarterfinals, something crazy happens.
Did I see recently Richarlison and Rafinha got in a scrap in training again? I'm pretty sure Richarlison got into a bit of a scrap with one of the players.
Richarlison's just mad.
Yeah, we have very good players, And
has there been a fight? I think you probably don't understand the word scrap. Has there been a fight with the players in Brazil? Have you heard anything out there?
Can you repeat, please?
Jake's asking you if there has been a fight between Richarlison and who was it, Jake?
Rafinha.
And Rafinha. Has there been a fight? Have you heard anything about it?
No. No, we didn't. You don't see?
No.
No, nothing about that.
Nothing in the papers, right? It's probably it's news over here, but not in Brazil, obviously.
I seen a tweet. Somebody said that Richarlison has got the attitude, or has got the kind of grandiose complex of Ronaldo with Marcus Bent skill or something. That was you see that
well, I think on that we'll close the show. Thank you very much, everyone, for being on. Thank you for all you lot that are still in the chat. Thank you very much, and I'll put the links to, if you give me your social media links, I'll put them in the description of the video below. But it's been a pleasure having you all on. Thank you very much tonight. It's gone by very quick. And
bye everyone.
We're just going to go to the outro. I'll just find it. There we go. So see you later, folks. By the way, folks, there isn't one next week. there's no football vloggers podcast. I've got to go to a funeral thing, so there's nothing on next week. So we'll be back in a fortnight. So we'll put that in your diaries, folks. We'll be back in a fortnight.
Good night. Bye.
See you later, folks.
Good night. Bye.
The gas.
Well, thanks a lot for sticking right to the end. Hope you really enjoyed that show. We've had loads of fun with you guys, and hasn't there been some great guests on as well? If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do. Also, give the video a like. YouTube really does appreciate that. Also, down below in the description of the video, I'll have the links to all the guest channels that have been on tonight. So if there's any of them that you really enjoyed and you want to check out more of the stuff they do, then please follow on the links below and also subscribe to them as well. It helps everyone grow. We'll be back again next week from 8 o'clock. Finishing around about 10 o'clock. We'd love to have you back, and we'd love to see you here again. So thanks a lot for watching. We will catch you in the next one. We're still here, just to remind you folks, if you're still listening, we're not back next week. We're back in a fortnight. See you all. Bye.